Welcome to the Big Week in Gaming podcast. And what do you know? It's been a big week in gaming. I'm Mittergott for episode 51 on Sunday, the 4th of July, 2021. Happy Independence Day. As always, I'm joined by the official P3 nominated and approved Xbox Hall of Famer and number one challenger to the mantle of the greatest Xbox RPG player in the world, Swinny.
Hello.
And the game-loving, grind-hating, pretend-to-quit coffee-drinking, continue to drink coffee, gamer, anti-gamer, and certainly interrupter-in-chief, Mike.
Hello. I didn't realize that Independence Day was released on the 4th of July.
You idiot.
Was it the original or the remake?
In this week's show, we'll be discussing Sony's studio shopping spree and what these acquisitions tell us about their future, Swinny's first impressions of the Gothic, Metroidvania, Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Knights. You're living up to your interrupter-in-chief title. And we choose the nominees for Game of Some Other Year, GOSOY 1995. A little bit of a social plug for us, Mike, at the start. Do you know what the easiest thing to do in the world is?
Your mum?
Jesus Christ, this is what we've got to.
Well, I'm not going to continue with the line that's in the run sheet.
That's right.
So what is easy, not doing that, is to follow us, subscribe, ring that bell, choke that chicken on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and
I always
Twitch.
choke the chicken while thinking of your mum.
All you need to do is search for Bigwig Pod, that's BIGWIGPOD. And also, if you type that little bigwigpod at gmail.com, you can send us an email. How easy is that, Mike?
Pretty easy, just as easy, just like your mum.
Mike, you're really like poking him now. You know he's on lack of sleep right now.
Yeah, that's right. I've had like 3 hours sleep.
You know who else I poke?
Like, okay. I like how he's delaying the start of the recording and then he's acting like this. Swinny, hype.
Yeah, so we had our Kazuya Smash presentation reaction this week on that went live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and you can check out the reaction on YouTube, the recording of it on our channel.
I watched it live. I wasn't part of it, but I watched it.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike joined the chat, which was interesting. I didn't get to see it until after the recording, so I saw Mike just I guess his history of his chat. But we also have a lot of love in the community for our Greedfall coverage, which is great. It's great to see these, small RPG developers, getting some good traction out there. So keep fighting the good fight, everyone. And a quick correction around that as well, that I mentioned that Spiders was an independent developer. They were actually acquired by Nacon in 2019.
I mean, with their whole independent title, like, how about if a publisher's small? Are they still independent? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure with that, but Nacon's not small.
No, fair point.
Yeah.
No point. So what's your week in gaming been like, Swinny?
So this week I've been playing, as you alluded to in the intro, a new game called Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Night. So I'll talk about that a bit later on. As Mike also kind of reacted to, I think he's going to be very interested to hear what this game is like. Also been playing a bit of Smash.
We have
finally back to Smash. A bunch of us have been playing a few nights, and obviously also trying out Kazuya Mishima, the new fighter edition. So we'll have our segment a bit later on, the presentation that Sakurai held, and also some, I guess, initial hands-on thoughts about the character. Also, just yesterday started the new DLC for Greedfall, the Devesp Conspiracy, and tried it out with the Series X upgrade that you get free as part of, if you are a previous owner of PS4 or Xbox One, if you have Greedfall on Game Pass, but unfortunately not if you have Greedfall from PlayStation Plus a couple of months ago. So a bit confusing around that stuff. And I also picked up the Gold Edition because it comes with some special extras. And the last thing is I'm still checking the Gearbox support forums every day to see when they're going to patch and fix Borderlands 3's massive stuttering issue. That it sucks. Like when you're 15 to 20 hours into a game and you're really loving it, and then that issue gets introduced, you're just like, oh man, it's blue balls. It's Borderlands. So
I felt like you were trying to look for a pun or something on
Blue
Borderlands.
Borderlands isn't that bad.
Borderland balls or something. Is it affecting the PC version?
I haven't heard it affecting PC. I know that there's also been a whole bunch of other issues, like people not being able to fast travel and stuff that seems to be affecting some people across PlayStation 4 as well. So it just seems like this update that they did that added the crossplay and new stuff, they needed more time in the oven, clearly. Yeah, that's been my week. How
about you, Mike?
I finished Metro Exodus.
Oh, yes.
Got the good ending. Not that it means much, but it was good. It was a really good experience. I can kind of see at the end of it why it went down in price so quickly. Those games usually do. I mean, Last Light was, $3. I think we talked about last week on Switch.
Right. Yeah, people had like 1 minute to buy it.
But that's not to... Yeah, exactly. That's not to say they're not great games. I really, really enjoyed Metro Exodus. I loved the feel of it. I loved how they opened it up compared to the originals. Cool weapon choices. The one thing, without spoiling anything, is you had the typical, and this might be spoiling something for Half-Life if someone hasn't played Half-Life yet. You get to a certain point in the game where you lose all your weapons. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about developers doing that in these kind of games. Because there's all these weapons where you save them for later because you're like, I better conserve the ammo just in case I need it later. And then you end up not using them at all, like the Magnum in Half-Life. I don't think I ever used the Magnum in Half-Life. So I finished that, enjoyed it thoroughly. And then I played a little bit of a game that Swinny covered in a previous episode called Donut County, which is really cool.
Nice.
I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. Good dialogue, funny humor, and of course the gameplay is really, really cool. Although my girlfriend's like, "What the hell is this? Is this that duck game?"
So now do you understand why I call that like one of the most obvious entries in the asshole animal genre?
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because it's got the same aesthetic as the Untitled Goose Game, which is really cool. So yeah, really, really enjoying it so far. I haven't finished it. It's a very chill kind of game, pretty easy to get through, quite fun. And I think that's mostly it actually for my week. I played Smash with you guys for a tiny, tiny bit, but other than that, that was my week in gaming.
Nice,
you, Intigot,
nice.
What'd you get up to?
I finally, this arrived. The Hori.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
This, okay, like
good.
We've covered this on the show, and I'm like, maybe I'll get it. I don't know.
Can you explain what it is first for the audio listeners?
Yeah, for the audio
I've
listeners.
Turned into Mike. I've turned into Mike where I don't say things. I'm not mindful of that. Yeah, the Hori. People attacked me in the comments. Is it Hori or Hori?
It's Hori.
Hori. The Hori Split Pad
I just
Pro.
made that up. I don't know what it is.
So essentially, it's like the easiest way to describe it is to just cut a Pro controller in half and then use those ends as a Joy-Con. No rumble, no motion, no fuss. It does actually have these back buttons that I've never heard anyone talk about them.
I've used them.
Yeah.
I've used them in Dark Souls because you can remap them to the run button, for example.
Correct.
And you know how you can't run and use the camera at the same time?
Yeah.
Because the run button's B or something and the camera's the right stick. Yeah, with that, voila, problem solved. It's really useful.
Yeah, you can't use them at the same time. You got to use the claw. No, you got to use your finger as a claw. Yeah.
I have to say, it's a total game changer. Like, I know that I've been late to the party, even though we've covered it many times. It's so good. It's incredible. I was playing Smash handheld on it, and I normally hate playing it, and I'm very ineffective. But I was just somewhat effective. It's amazing, the step up.
It's really good, yeah. It's really, really cool. And you don't really miss the rumble that much.
Well, I turn it off in a lot of games that I play in handheld anyway. And the actual ultimate test for me was I booted up Rocket League because I was thinking, okay, this is probably the game I'm most proficient in. And the step up compared to playing on Joy-Cons, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's night and day. It
feels so much more comfortable too.
Well, it's not even just that it's comfortable. It's that, like you have a D-pad, So I've also been playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because we're covering that in a couple of weeks. I think it's like... Is it next week or the week after? Just checking. Next week. So next week's show, we'll be actually covering Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze as part of the 40th anniversary for Donkey Kong. So like playing that on the D-pad's incredible. It's just awesome. Like, I highly recommend if someone can get it. Like, if you can get it for $60-$70, it's well worth it. It's actually, I'm going to buy a case for it so that I can keep it like on and put a case around it. Smash as well. I also booted up Monster Hunter Stories 2, the demo. Like, it certainly hasn't converted me into someone who's going to buy the game. It's a little bit choppy. It just feels very like AA or A. I don't know how to describe it. Turn-based RPG based on the Monster Hunter series. The graphics are kind of weird. Like, at times it looks really incredible for the Switch, and then other times it looks a bit like a Pokemon game where it's just very unfinished and you just, I don't know, like low effort. And yeah, the game is incredibly choppy and it's very noticeable, and then also just kind of very distracting and a bit frustrating. But yeah, like, it's funny just going back to a lot of games like Smash and Rocket League, you know, games that I feel like I could just play all the time and play nothing else. So I have to put them down or else I'll just get carried away. Like, even with Smash, been playing that with Swinny a bit, and I feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna get swept away if I keep playing this all the time.
Dude, get swept away. I want to play this game every night, damn it.
I know, but like, I just got to get better at playing like 5 games and then that's it. Like, move on, because I don't have that much free time. Before we get into the news, we do have sad news to, I guess, bring up or report on. You know, someone that we have covered a few times in the past, actually, Nia, so formerly known as Bew, of you know, their sudden passing this week. You know, none of us have ever reached out to Nia and you know, gotten to know them, but like, especially for me, and I'll let you guys talk in a second. You know, just being a huge Super Nintendo fan, that's my favorite console of all time. Just the incredible contribution that Nia made to the community. Like, for me personally, I think there's actually probably no one from like the, you know, the scene and the community around the Super Nintendo that has contributed more than Nia. You know, number one with the SNES emulator, you know, and the strive for cycle accurate emulation made a huge difference. And then also their efforts of, you know, going through every single actual Super Nintendo game, scanning, dumping, you know, making sure that everything's accurate and correct. Just incredible contribution. Like, you know, multiple people and multiple lifetime contribution. And it's just extremely sad news. Swinny?
Yeah, this was a shock. And I know, like, I was introduced to Nia through, you know, our discussions on the show, and so, as you said, their contribution, amazing contribution to the emulation scene. And, you know, we'll get to when we talk about our Game of Summer of the Year 1995, like that era of gaming is so special to myself, and obviously they held a deep love for that, and specifically their work, you know, you could call it their lifetime's work on Bahamut Lagoon as well, the translation project that was essentially 25 years of work, you know, stop-start, but basically they got there. And I'm so happy that they were able to achieve that milestone, you know, before obviously their sad passing. So
Yeah, I was actually really like, really shook up about it on Monday. I was just like, wow, just couldn't believe it happened. Mike, if you are struggling with mental health, where can you reach out to?
So, and I have been struggling with mental health in the past. And Australia, Lifeline on 131114. If you're in the UK, Samaritans on 116123. And if you're in the USA, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline on 1-800-273-8255. And we'll put a link in the description for the worldwide link as well.
Yeah, if you just search for crisis lines on Wikipedia, it actually has like very comprehensive list. Yeah, like Vale Nia, like, it'd be very, very sad. It's just you know, a big gap in the community now, especially the Super Nintendo community. All right, let's move into our first item of news. Sony has gone on a shopping spree. So they are spending the small big bucks as compared to Microsoft and buying a lot of reputable partner studios that they've worked with and a very interesting PC port specialist, which I think will probably give you a bit of insight as to what they're doing in the future. So first up, it's Housemarque. Swinny, Housemarque. What do they do?
So Housemarque, well, first of all, they're based in Helsinki, Finland. They've been around for a long time, since 1995, but they've worked very closely with Sony since around 2007. And they're notable games. Obviously, this aren't all of them, but you got Super Stardust HD, which is was released in 2007, so that's kind of their first time really working closely with Sony. Outland, a game that I really love, that I played on the 360. Resogun is another huge game for them, and their latest game, the massive AAA title Returnal. So they're very typically known as your kind of like action arcadey shooter development house, but very well regarded, and this is not surprising in any way.
And it does feel like a bit of a reaction to Returnal, which I think almost certainly will be a Game of the Year nominee at the end of the year. Just hearing to everyone talk about the game and how it's shaping up in people's minds. And it feels like
no surprise.
Yeah, it feels like Sony basically going,
yeah.
Well, we gave you more budget to try to do a AAA game, and you delivered. So, and supposedly they're going to have more budget in the future. Do you ever want to go back to that game, Mike? I know that you bought Returnal and then returned it.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's one of those games that is just inherently really addictive.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from
one
people.
day if it goes down in price again, I might. I didn't return it because I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. I just didn't have the time to put into it.
Yeah,
it's a solid game, really good game.
It actually seems a bit like Dark Souls-esque in terms of if you walk away from it all the time and then come back to it, and you're not a master of it or anything like that, it's probably hard to get back into, right?
It can be, yeah, because you really get into the swing of the flow and the twitchiness and the accuracy and yeah.
I'm also waiting for it to go on sale or go down in price a little bit, but regardless, I'll be picking it up by the end of the year because I feel like it's going to factor into everyone's in the game of the year. And then I haven't heard of this one, Swinny. Nixxes Software.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat. This seems like very much a support studio. So they're based out of, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but Utrecht in the Netherlands. So they've been around for a while, since 1999, and they've been a long-time partner studio of Crystal Dynamics, specifically specializing in PC ports of their games. So those games include the Tomb Raider Reboot trilogy, the Avengers, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which is, Eidos Montreal, but still in that kind of family of Eidos games. And interestingly, this studio as well, when you go on their website, rather than have like our games or games, they have projects. So it's very clear that they're a support studio and they consider themselves as a partner studio of who they work with. So the fact that Sony's picked this up, well, it's pretty clear Sony's already got some PC ports going, and it makes sense to have someone under their wing that specializes in it.
Yeah, and then also they they've said in their financial year end that they're going to have a bunch of games ported to PC. I think they also said that Uncharted 4, from memory, I think we reported on it, that they are going to port that to PC as well. So, yeah, it makes total sense. And then the last one, which is interesting, is
Blue Box.
We'll cover it. We'll cover it quickly, but Bluepoint Games. So, probably the number one studio. I always thought they were going to acquire at some stage. So, legendary, absolutely legendary porting studio. Porting games like Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Shadow of Colossus, and then the Demon's Souls remake, but like a very pure remake. Very strangely, when the post went up about Returnal, PlayStation Japan, when they posted, so it was meant to be the Returnal announcement, and all the text was about Returnal, but the image wasn't the Returnal image. So, they've got their PlayStation family image with like slithers of all the games and welcome to PlayStation, and then, the Housemarque logo. With PlayStation Japan, for some reason, the image wasn't of Housemarque, it was of Bluepoint Games. And it already had Housemarque's game Returnal as one of the slithers, as if it was like, this is coming in like a week or a month's time. So it seems like a done deal that they're gonna acquire Bluepoint. It is funny though, because the tweet got deleted, and then they've actually changed a lot of their job ads to say they're fully independent, including their Twitter bio. They didn't say that before, and now they do say they're fully independent.
Well, the Slither had Demon Souls in it as well, in that particular one as well. So,
So I look, if you're running that studio and you haven't told everyone internally yet, you probably would just go, oh, look, that's just rumors, blah, 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 because you don't want to get people spooked with these kind of things. Very unfortunate, like an own goal if this is the case, which I think is like 99% the case. So what do you think this means, Winnie, for PlayStation and Sony?
I mean, to me, it's pretty clear that they're probably going to just get them to do what they do best, which is remaster and remake Sony IPs, honestly. Why would you get them to do anything else? Sure, they could work on a new title, and I'd be interested to see what a new Bluepoint game would be, but why take people out of their wheelhouse? You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, and it also seems like this is Sony doubling down on the AAA space in terms of, bringing in Housemarque to add to their AAA library in terms of generating new big AAA games, and then bringing in very high quality porting studios to take old games for them and then remaster them. Like you just feel like Sony's strategy is not like Xbox, which is, hey, make things backwards compatible and then improve them. I think Sony looks at that and goes, well, how do we make money on that? Versus Demon Souls, where they've made a lot of money on that game.
And also another thing for me is it takes Bluepoint off the market.
Yeah.
It stops anyone else picking them up, which, God, if I'm any big, publisher, Bluepoint would have been on my radar for a long time.
Well, I'm always very shocked that stuff like Activision or EA haven't just snatched them. Because the IP in their back catalogue, you could just get them working on so many different games. And I know they have porting studios internally, but it does feel to me like Bluepoint is the premier one out of all of them. They seem to be the most hyper obsessive about their IP. Yeah. Like, and the craziest shit that they did with Demon Souls of like having the PS3 game run inside of their engine, and that's how it works. And like making sure that everything is exactly accurate is just, that's the kind of shit I love.
Pick it up. It's really good.
I will when it's on sale.
Actually, we could just borrow my copy.
Oh, yeah, good. All right. And really exciting news for me because I'm a huge fan of Control and Alan Wake. Remedy are doing deals left, right, and center. So 505 Games and Remedy have announced new titles in the Control universe. And we should actually be clear, Swinny. I think part of it is 505 and part of it they've done a deal with Sony. Like to support them as a publisher, but I still think it is going to run through 505. It's quite weird the way Remedy set it all up. So we're talking about a new multiplayer title and a potential sequel. So Project Condor, it's a 4-player co-op title for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, will be set in the Control universe, will be built on their proprietary Northlight engine, and the artwork seems to indicate it is set in the earlier years of the Federal Bureau of Control.
That's just my take on it. They didn't say that, but they basically said the artwork should give you an idea of the tone that they're going for, and it looks kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know what era, but like the 60s or 50s. Like it seems earlier.
It's like a fictional 50s, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So, that's really cool. And they also stress, that there's a really, really good write-up that they put out there that basically says, look, we understand that people might feel that they might not like us announcing a multiplayer game, but they stress, look, they're known for their single player games, but they have a really, really deep love of multiplayer titles, and they talk about your Battlefields and stuff, and they're just like, we love this stuff. Just because we haven't done it doesn't mean that we don't have the drive and passion to do something. But yeah, I'm glad that they also kind of mentioned that they're working on another title as well.
Well, do you want to cover that?
Is this the Alan Wake 128 people multiplayer?
What'd you get 128 people
shooter?
From? No, Mike. So they're also working on a new big budget, that's their own words, or bigger budget Control game as well. So the series director, Mikhail Kasarinen, I think, has outlined, he said, they've outlined high-level collaboration terms to further expand the Control franchise with a bigger budget Control game. So that could be a potential sequel, could be anything really, but it's a Control game, so you'd assume it's kind of taking place as a sequel. So the fact that they're also, saying, hey, we've got this multiplayer game that's obviously more further along because, they've shown a screenshot, they've got stuff going for that already, but we're still going to work on this other thing. So that's good.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on in Remedy. So they've got 3 games going on then. Because there's something that they're closing out now.
Crossfire X campaign.
Yeah.
And then they're not a huge studio, for many games. It's interesting.
And then this is more of a rumor, so we haven't really said about it yet. But Alan Wake, there was something that was listed in the Epic Game Store, like a remake or a remaster to that game as well. So supposedly they've done a deal with Epic to remaster that game.
Okay. Who knows? Maybe it's another studio doing that remaster. We don't know.
Could be. Yeah.
But there's also the game you pitched to them. I think they're working on that now.
We're not going to cover it in the show. But did you see that there was or unless it's in the Minuteman section with the F-Zero stuff, Swinny? Just quickly on a diversion. So there was a pitch about F-Zero. It was going to be like a more gritty F-Zero game. Like to
they
Nintendo.
already did that. It's called F-Zero GX.
No. It's like no. They're talking about like way deeper down that path.
That is ridiculous. F-Zero. Anyway,
we're
not talking about F-Zero.
I know. I said it was the version.
One last thing is they also mentioned that there's some Control merchandise on the way. Pretty much very soon. They said available in August. So I'm assuming we'll get news of it before then. But
hopefully,
it's a weird crossover with Barbie. I don't really see it, but
it's a Jessie Barbie.
Yeah, I have to say I love the aesthetic of Control as well. So I'm sure the merch would look pretty sick. So
could you imagine a Barbie house that kind of like transforms, and so it's actually bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside?
Barbie's floating in the air. Oh, awesome. In other news, Ghost of Tsushima director's cut has been announced. Let's cover the whole director's cut thing a little bit later, but yeah, it's featuring a bunch of improvements and all the DLC so far, but also new content. So it's coming on the 20th of August on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And I think Sony is truly showing their hands on what they're doing around the pricing of games. And it's probably very challenging given that Australian pricing is really different to the US pricing. US pricing, $60 has been standard for generations, and now it's bumped up to $70. And essentially, very simplistically in the US, if you want to get the PS5 version and you go through the PS4 path, you will pay the same amount as if you just buy the PS5 version. They do not want to have a situation where it's like you buy the $60 PS4 version of this and you get a free upgrade to the PS5 version.
Kind of makes sense.
Well, I totally get that. Like I've been buying PS4 versions of stuff because why would I buy I got Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 because it's like why would I?
It was $19, and then you just get the DLC for a little bit on top.
Yeah,
why would you? Yeah, exactly.
But Australia is a really weird, different market around the pricing. Like our pricing has been under the US pricing for a long time, and now it's over the US pricing with this generation change. So far, what they're kind of saying, Swinny, it's like. Is it the same price for both? I haven't double checked this.
So with JB Hi-Fi, they have the PS4 version listed at $79. They've got the PS5 version listed at $99. And then EB Games has the PS4 version listed at $99 and the PS5 version listed at $115. Now, these are pre-order prices. Yeah. Who knows what it is when it hits later in August. But that's basically what the current listed prices are on their websites.
Yeah, I think with JB, what they'll do is they'll go up by $10 on both of those. So just to look at it now, Ghost of Tsushima, just a standard edition now on the PS4 is $79, and the pre-order for the director's cut is $79 on PS4. So I get a sense that will go up to $89. But yeah, so you got a $20 differential, and we should also just say that you can upgrade from the PS4 director's cut version to the PS5. There's an upgrade path there. I can't recall if there's an upgrade path from the standard PS4 edition to the PS5. Okay. I think there is. As well. It's a different DLC. It's like basically like they're just going to make you pay so that you are whole and the equivalent to what you would have paid with the PS5. It's really confusing.
I kind of get why they're doing it though.
I do.
Because it seemed like a bit of a loophole. I remember when Valhalla came out, I just bought the PS4 version and it was $69 or something, way cheaper than the PS5 version. And you get the free upgrade.
Yeah, and a lot of those games have actually now normalized. So in Australia, the PS4 and the PS5 copies are the same for some of those games that initially launched.
I still find it really interesting because games like Demon Souls is still full price.
Yeah,
it's still the what is it, 129, 119?
Depending when you buy it, 109,
125 or something. It hasn't really gone down in price much at all, if anything. And whereas with other games like Valhalla, you can get it now, even on PS5, fairly cheap. So I think it's the same thing that's going to happen this generation. You're going to get certain games that will stick to that insanely high RRP, and others you're just going to be able to get them for the same price as the PS4 versions when they're in discount.
Yeah.
So we should talk a bit about the director's cut.
Yeah, just going back to it.
Let's talk about the features.
There's actually a new chapter, so a new island, the island of Iki. Is that right? From a Japanese perspective?
Yeah, that's
Iki
right.
Island.
So it's available at the beginning of the Act 2. It includes new armor, enemies, and minigames and techniques. Kind of cool on the PS5 version. And I have heard this complaint in the past that there's now Japanese lip syncing. It's kind of weird to me that it's only in the PS5 version, not the PS4 version.
Isn't it?
They said that they're doing it like it's almost like they're not sitting there actually, basically like the PS5 technology allows them to do that automatically as opposed to the PS4.
So they're doing real-time processing of it. Then.
Yeah, but it is unfortunate for people that want that on PS4 that's not going to be there.
It'd be really cool to play this game with the Japanese language on and just have subtitles and stuff. I think that'd be such a cool experience.
Well, that's how I normally play these games.
Oh, okay.
And they tout the ability a feature is ability to transfer progress from PS4 to PS5, and I'm just like, how's that not already a thing?
It's not a given on the PS.
Yeah,
that's as good as the PlayStation ecosystem is. There's some really bad things with it. So
some other improvements that's free to all versions, including just the base Ghost of Tsushima, which is great.
Oh, okay.
So there's going to be updates to have new alternative control schemes, ones that are more accessible as well.
Maybe that's why, because the controls were brilliant. Really, really good.
So option to enable a target lock-on. And I'm just reeling... Mike, let me finish.
Right.
I'm just reeling this off as someone that hasn't played it. This is just literally in their feature list. Ability to hide the quiver during gameplay, and also they're adding a new mode to their multiplayer, which is Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So that's free to anyone that's got Ghost of Tsushima. So that's just basically just a title update. So
it's funny with the quiver one, because when I played the game yonks ago, I remember going, man, I wish you could hide this quiver. It just ruins my costume.
A lot of people say that. Like, seriously, a lot of people complain
it's
about
such a small detail. It's probably so easy to implement as well.
They said that they're making a lot of these improvements based on community feedback. So.
Cool.
Well, they seemed very responsive. I think, this is going to be a nutty thing that I'm about to say, but I feel like Sucker Punch is becoming the new CD Projekt Red, where the community just loves them. Like, they can't do anything wrong. Like with the Legends update, when they add, I'm setting them up for a fail, right? With the Legends update, people love that, like absolutely loved it, and couldn't believe that, multiplayer version of the game would work so well. So
yeah, I just remember just hearing about them reading about them in like Hyper Magazine when they were doing the N64 game Rocket Robot on Wheels. Like, it's great to see that a developer that kicked off their, with a game on N64 is now such a well-regarded force in the industry. It's great.
Yeah, no, it is really awesome. All right, moving on to the next bit of news. xCloud gaming for PC and iOS has gone live production in 22 countries, and one of them is in Australia. And Microsoft has also detailed how the officially licensed third-party accessories will work and what you can get. So very, very cool news. It's available on PC, iOS, iPhone, tablets, via the browser. If you try to launch it in Australia, it just says your country is not supported.
Austria. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
And it's also native in the Android app because Google doesn't block Microsoft from doing that. It does require Game Pass Ultimate, and you can access it through xbox.com/play. So as you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on your podcast, you can fire up your browser, and go to xbox.com/play.
I was about to say, man, what a great simple URL, and then you screwed it.
I know. And that also got a bit leaked before E3. I remember people were showing off that URL. So
we don't normally do this, but I think we should list the countries.
Yeah, I'll just reel them off really quickly. So these are the 22 countries it is available, including some countries that are in our audience typically. So Austria, Belgium, Canada, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, UK, and the US.
Yeah, so this is awesome. We obviously knew it's been a very kind of weird rollout how they've done this all, but now this is kind of, to me, like, this is your launch. This is your launch, even though it's kind of been on Android in some capacity in some countries for a while. Obviously, shame that Australia's not on the list yet, but we know it's happening this year. They reported that like a couple of weeks ago. So,
and we should also say that and I think we mentioned it last week in the Minuteman section, that they've upgraded the server blades. So they're running Xbox Series X server blades for, I believe, most of the games. So that also is going to make an absolute massive difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they announced their design for Xbox licensed iOS accessories. So they had 3, but one of them I just couldn't really understand, which was like a battery pack that I was trying to read. You know, is there any reason for us to mention it? Is there any mobile specific stuff? So there is something else that they've mentioned out there, but the 2 that I wanted to quickly look at are their controllers, like their Vice style controllers. So you've got the Backbone 1 priced at $99 USD. I haven't seen what the Australian price is for that. That's apparently compatible with all iPhone models with iOS 13 or later. And interesting, you can actually capture gameplay footage from the Backbone app and share it to people via link, which I think is actually pretty neat for, you know, playing that stuff on mobile. And also the app as well has been updated to support Game Pass. So you look at it and it looks pretty good, like the fact that it's all integrated. And if you purchase it via their website, playbackbone.com, it will come with 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, but only for new subscribers to Game Pass. We also have the Razer Kishi Universal Gaming Controller, also priced at $99 USD. Couldn't find a lot of details about this that made it, you know, I guess, unique, but basically says it's a universal fit. It has clickable analog sticks and ultra low latency. That's Razer's wording, who knows. But you can purchase that controller via Razer.com. That also comes with 3 months of Game Pass for new subscribers.
Yeah, so we actually had covered the Backbone previously, and it seems to have gone down in price. It's still like expensive, but
to be clear, like, yeah, these are existing products that are now licensed, but the fact that the app, like the Backbone app, has been updated, I think is important here as well. So.
Yeah, maybe it was just the way like it costs to get to Australia, so it's definitely changed in price. So it's about 160 Australian dollars, the Backbone one. And people rave about that thing, like absolutely rave about it. Like anyone who's like, you know, into that cloud gaming stuff say it's like a life changer. So
do you know if there's an Android compatible version?
I don't know. Don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, I
think it's just iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just trying to go to the superior platform, I guess. No, I don't even like iOS or iPhone very much anymore, to be honest. Yeah, they should make one for. I guess it's just more difficult because it actually plugs in through the port as well on the actual phone. So no, very, very cool. Like I know I'm going to bring it up again, but just with the Switch now, especially with using the Hori Split Pad Pro, which is like the worst name ever because it's like a tongue twister. It just feels perfect for xCloud. It's a shame that there's no browser that you could even just like run it through. That would be really, really cool. All right, let's move on. id Software, sorry, maybe has a mystery game. So again, the Australian Classification Board has delivered for us, and this time they've actually spoken or like, you know, put a classification about a Project 2021B, which is a multi-platform title. Do you want to just continue this, Mike?
With online interactivity whatever that means. So multiplayer, maybe? I don't know. Big MMO? Who knows? We'll find out. In any case, it's rated M for mature with moderate impact, which is no surprise, I guess, coming from id. With moderate impact when it comes to violence and mild impact for themes and language. And early this year, Project 2021A was revealed to be Doom 3 VR edition for PSVR. So could it be a new PSVR version 2 Doom game? Who knows? Maybe a new Quake? Also, who knows? We'll see.
I don't think they're going to release a new Quake game. Like, I feel like we've heard nothing about that. I'd be shocked if they've reviewed it and then but I'm guessing it's like something in the Quake universe, either on PSVR or a remaster or something like that.
Did Eternal ever have VR, or was it just the original Doom that had VR?
Did what? Sorry,
did Doom Eternal have VR, or was it just the Doom 2016 that did?
I don't believe so. So that is a good bet.
That's my guess. That's my bet.
I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but even something like, we talk about Quake, but even something just like your Quake Live style, because I don't think Quake Champions is on consoles either. So there's things there that they could do that seems like they could work on it pretty easily under the radar and then launch pretty quickly as well. So
Doom VFR is like the PSVR. So Doom 2016 has a PSVR game, but I don't know if Doom Eternal has a PSVR game or even like any VR game.
But do you think it could be some of those Quake multiplayer titles as well?
I think it's something to do with Quake. I don't know about Quake Champions. I think they're going to let that go. That community is so dead. Like, I'm a huge Quake fan. I love both sides of Quake because it's kind of like two series. It's like a multiplayer game and then, you know, the Strog sort of like timeline as well. So starting from Quake 2, which was meant to be called like War. It wasn't even meant to be called Quake.
I'm just thinking of quick things that they could put together to put on consoles specifically, because that wasn't on consoles. So, and like your Quake Live or that, I'm just thinking that stuff could be an easy project for them. So,
well, one thing that I was thinking was that, well, it does say multiplayer, but I mean, you know, Quake 2 has multiplayer. They did, I don't know if you remember, but they did a ray tracing version of Quake 2 for NVIDIA, right? So I wonder if they've got like a next gen ray tracing souped up to the nines version of Quake 2, and they're just going to release that as like a really small game. And, you know, that's something that people might pick up. But it does seem like they're going to announce it at QuakeCon, which is in August, I think, from memory.
No, it's got to be ray tracing Commander Keen, the original DOS games.
I thought you were going to correct me of when QuakeCon was, and I was like, damn it, I got it wrong. And then Commander Keen, I like that. Yeah, no, I'm really keen about it. As I said,
you're keen about it, hey?
That was an accidental. I wish I could claim that. Really keen for them to make a new Quake game, actually, especially like the Doom 2016 team. I think that'd be really cool if they move on to that franchise. All right, let's get on to our next story. Smash, Swinny.
Yeah, so this week, Smash Bros. Ultimate director Masahiro Daddy Sakurai presented a deep dive on Kazuya Mishima joining from Tekken. So Kazuya also then released a couple of days later. So we got our chance to try it out. But just to cover some details first, so he is the 5th edition of the 6-character Fighter Pass 2. Fighter Pass 2 is priced at $32.50 Australian, but you can purchase him separately for $7.80. And just, I guess, as an intro to his play style, he essentially features the largest moveset of any Smash fighter. And obviously all those moves are based on his Tekken abilities. So in terms of that play style, he's a heavy combo-based fighter, quite a very heavy character. Many of his moves have super armor. So it means, you know, he can't be interrupted, and also invincibility frames, particularly in his legs. So if you try to hit him in the middle of those moves, it will essentially just go through. A lot of his normal attacks are based on 8-way analog stick inputs, as opposed to traditional like side, up, down, and neutral attacks that pretty much every Smash fighter has. You could hold up and right, and he's doing a different move, or back back and up, and it's doing a different move as well. So it's kind of crazy, and that's what leads into him having the most moves of anything when you combine that with just combo inputs and everything. Another unique thing that he has is a crouch dash. So that's like a Shoryuken Street Fighter input that basically if you do that input without pressing a button, he will then dash along the ground. He'll go onto certain projectiles. But you can also combine that with button inputs for moves like his iconic Tekken move, Electric Wind God Fist. So it's honestly some really, really cool stuff. Also very, I think, difficult to kind of learn, honestly, but we'll get into our impressions. The last thing I'll just mention is that at 100%, he will enter damage. He will enter Rage Mode, where he gets a bit of a damage buff, but he can also use a once per stock special attack, which is called Rage Drive. So, yeah, Intergod, what are your, we've both had a chance to try him out. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, really, really cool character. I always love when Sakurai, and it pretty much for all the DLC characters in my view, tries to do something really different and just having like a different control scheme. I know that they have that with Ryu and Ken, but it feels different again. And it does actually feel very reminiscent of Tekken and probably more so like the original Tekken game without the sidestepping. Yeah, just like the only thing I worry about this character, and I've already seen some people do it online, and we're only 1 week in-ish, and people are already publishing here's a true combo. And just for anyone who's not like into Smash or fighting games, true combos are just ones where your opponent can't do anything to get out of the combo. So it's just like it's just going to happen to you and you can't do anything about it. And yeah, there's already like aerial true combos from like 0 to death for most of the characters already, like within like a week. So you just kind of go, wow, the meta around this character is just going to go through the roof. And I know that every new character that comes out, everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be the greatest character ever, it's going to break the game. And it really hasn't happened, maybe apart from Joker as the first DLC character. Well, I wouldn't say it broke the game though, but definitely super competitive character. But yeah, this one, I don't know, it's very slow though, right? So, and this game does favor speed.
Yeah, he's tough to use for someone that just, especially if you used to fight a faster characters. Took me quite a while to really kind of get the flow of how he plays, and I'm still struggling. It's still early days. I've probably only played maybe 15, 20 matches max, and spent probably no longer than an hour in training with him. But you do feel like you're doing moves and you're like, man, I'm only using like a quarter of what this guy can do. And just though that sure you can input, like that stuff's actually really tricky to pull off in the middle of a match. It's one thing to do it in training. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, this is cool. I can combo this into this and this. And then you jump in a real fight, especially if it's more than 1v1, then it's like just goes out the window and you're just trying to hang on. So I don't know how I feel if I actually like the character yet. I love his inclusion, but I don't know if the character is for me yet. As someone that plays... Yeah. I play a lot of Terry, but he's very different Terry. Terry's quick, quick and powerful, whereas because he's heavy and super powerful. So
he's like a tank. He's like a tank version of Terry in a way. Like just, I don't know. It's a weird character. I think it's a shame that you can't use D-pad in Smash at all. Like you can never, assign that's the movement.
Yeah, that would certainly help with a lot of this stuff, but I find the inputs on an analog to be easy for me, but most people would probably prefer a D-pad. So.
Well, the one thing you can do is you can use an arcade fight stick. So
yeah, I'm not going to be doing that.
No, but I just wonder if people use that because it feels like you could totally use this character just using a fight stick because it supports 8-directional. So it'd be interesting.
A couple of quick things. So the stage that was released is called Mishima Dojo, which is really, really cool. Has breakable walls and roof. Definitely not tournament legal, but it's fun for just casual play. And he comes with 39 music tracks across 12 different Tekken games. So they did it. They well represented Tekken in the music space. So I've got a question for Mike. What's your impressions for this character from I know you haven't played as him,
The
but
ultra
just
noob.
looking at it, just looking at it, does it seem cool to you?
No hablo inglés. Yeah, look, the character looks cool. As someone who is not heavily into Smash, although I should probably join you guys this coming week. I did play two games with you guys this week. Yeah, so I'm trying to do my bit. I just suck at those games, but it looks interesting. It looks cool. It's weird seeing the character, given that a lot of the other characters I haven't really seen in other games as much. Whereas with this, I've seen him in other games, so it's kind of weird seeing him in a game like this. It's a shame that I can't try him out because it's obviously a DLC character and I don't have the Game Pass, whatever it's called, DLC Pass, Fighter Pass. Fighters Pass
Volume
gets to it
2 or whatever
eventually.
it's called.
But it looks really cool, yeah. Cool looking character.
Talking about Fighter Pass.
Well, just quickly on the play. I mean, we might see if we can stream some of the games that we play in Smash. So keep an eye on Bigwig Pod on your socials. Follow us so you get a notification if we do stream.
It's a good idea.
I might
Watch
actually
me get defeated.
I might set it up as like a open what do you call it, arena with a password or something. So then if people are watching us, they can join. We can beat them up. No, we're not even that good at the game, so they'll probably smash us.
You guys are pretty good.
All right, let's move on to the next part of the Smash news. And Swinny, we all know the most important thing that got announced in the Sakurai presentation was the fact that there's more amiibo coming. More amiibo to fill my shelves, including the Min Min amiibo, which I've already pre-ordered.
You're interrupting my flow. I had a structured flow to this whole
and then
segment,
I changed it all.
and you just changed it because you're bloody amiibo. You're bloody amiibo. So in the Smash Bros. Ultimate presentation, Sakurai also showed off the Min Min amiibo.
Oh, no, also
amigo.
The amigo. Not also. It's like that was the main thing. He's laughing. He's touching it. So he showed off a prototype. It's dated for 2022. And the other thing that we learnt is that they are definitely making amiibo for all the characters. So I do really think like the Steve amiibo is going to be hard to get if you don't pre-order it, unless they make a gazillion of those. Because I guess you still can get the Banjo ones, so maybe it's not that hard. But yeah, I was really excited to see that. And then
to get back to the actual stuff that was relating to our last segment, so we could flow into it, and you broke that flow.
I don't believe in the flow if it's amiibo.
Sakurai confirmed that the next character, the sixth character in Fighter Pass 2, will be the last character added. So everyone's kind of secret hope that announced Fighter Pass 3 to have more DLC characters. He squashed it all.
Yeah.
He squashed it all. But I'm glad that they did it now, because if they did it, I think at the end, I think it just would have probably disappointed even more people to hear that when the last character was announced. It gives people time to time to grieve and get over it. But also in the presentation, he showed off the new Mii Fighter costumes, and this was essentially one of the biggest round of deconfirms, characters that people are really, really wanting, and they just basically, if they added a Mii Fighter costume, pretty much they're not going to be added as the last characters. So we had
100%. If they're adding a Mii Fighter costume,
I know,
in the Fighter Pass or like for DLC, there's like zero chance.
I know. I just don't like to work in absolutes.
Well, I think it's almost like, yeah. But I just wanted to say quickly, Swinny, that I do feel like the whole direct is a deconfirmed direct. Like deconfirm that there's going to be another Fighter Pass. Deconfirm a bunch of fighters that we're just going to cover. Like they're very thoughtful about that.
Yeah, so we had 3 more Mii Sword Fighter costumes. So the first was Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Very, very requested character.
Yeah,
he was a costume in Smash 4. We had probably one of the biggest requested characters, which was Dante from Devil May Cry, was shown off. So that sucks for people that really wanting him. And we also had two big surprises. The last Mii Sword Fighter was Dragonborn from Skyrim.
That's cool.
That's really,
pretty cool
really
and appropriate, yeah.
Awesome. And the Mii Brawler costume, the fourth one, was Shantae from her series. And that's that includes a music track, kind of like what they did with Sans as well for Undertale. So that's really, really neat. So 4 new costumes, 4 deconfirmed fighters. I'm sorry for anyone that was wanting Dante.
And then finally, we did cover it. Yeah, go on, Mike.
There's a Fallout costume as well, isn't there, from memory, of the Mii Fighter?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the Dragonborn
costume
one fits perfectly then.
Yeah, I've got I got actually a lot of these Mii Fighter costumes because it's actually just I like the Mii Fighters actually, and I think they're pretty powerful. And it's just funny having different costumes for it. It's a bit of a lull.
Yeah, I've only got the Goemon one, and I've used it once and then never used it again. So,
Well, you don't like the Miis though to fight as them, so I actually like fighting as them.
I've got so many other characters I'd rather play as. So.
No, very cool. Love Smash. Just to round it out, Swinny, what did you say is your final character for the Fighter Pass?
I think if you're going to do Master Chief, now's the time to do it.
It would be incredible. It would be. I think Sora. I think they'll do Sora.
Yeah. Mike, other than Duke Nukem, who do you think the last character could be? We just threw this at him, but he hasn't prepared.
I'm seeing if I can unhide one of the sheets that we have.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Jesus.
The Santa Claus from Futurama. I mean,
the other one quickly, Swinny, was. Do you think Sakurai? This is his last Smash game?
No.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, if there's another Smash game in the next 10 years, I don't think it's his last one.
Okay.
Yeah,
because there won't be another on this generation. So,
but hang on, because as a noob here, are they not releasing any more fighters?
There's one last one.
After that, that's it until the next game, I guess, whenever that will be.
Yeah, but there's already been way more DLC for this than there was for Smash 4, so they've gone above and beyond. No,
of course, yeah. It's interesting.
They've added 12 DLC fighters, Mike, which is the equivalent of the entire roster number for the very first Smash 64 game.
Wow.
Which kind of puts it in context, right? And they made a squillion from it. Like, Smash is incredible. They've never changed the prices on the digital copy of Smash or the DLCs. They're just like still priced like $90 Australian for the Smash game. So they're raking it in, but yeah, it's kind of a sad day. I would have loved another DLC pass. All right, let's get into my new favorite segment, the Minuteman. So Mike is going to carry the burden of doing the Minuteman segment.
It's Mike again. Oh my God.
Last week we did hear a little bit of the alarm, but it's my bad. I think Mike did make it within time. So I had to refresh the alarm. That's what I'll have to do each time.
Alarm now. Okay.
It's a different alarm. I think Swinny will pick it because there's a little bit of a hint, like with about 10 to 15 seconds to go, but it really kicks in at 0. So can I petition this this segment to be renamed a Minute Mike just overall? I know we had
that means I always have to do it. What?
Well, yeah, he could be Minute Mike, and then when he fails, it'll be Minute Swinny because Swinny hasn't done it.
Okay.
All right. So wrapping up the news, topics that we want to flag, but we don't want to cover in detail. And I'll play the intro, Mike, and you have 1 minute to cover all the news. When you finish, I'll stop. But if you fail, you cannot continue.
Okay.
I don't want no minute man.
Konami and Blobber Team have announced a strategic partnership with Your Mom. Kojima Productions and Xbox are reportedly close to sealing a deal to work on a cloud-powered game featuring Your Mom. A new console mana game is confirmed to be in development by Your Mom. Ex-Bioware lead Casey Hudson has opened up Your Mom and Humanoid Studios. Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser has apparently started up a studio named Absurd Ventures in Your Mom Games. Zelda Skyward Sword will include many quality of life changes, including optional voices from Your Mom, Enfy. The first 3 Final Fantasy Pixel remasters will launch on 28th of July, says Your Mom. Doom Eternal has received PS5, Xbox Series X upgrades, including ray tracing. Also, the planned PvP invasion mode has been scrapped in favor for a new Horde mode with Your Mom. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit update is available now with a new Cup car theme and Your Mom and more. Funcom have acquired The Outsiders and are opening a new studio in Romania where Your Mom lives. Sadly, the real-life dog beat from Fallout 4, a German Shepherd named River, has passed away.
Oh, there we go. We didn't hear the alarm this week. Well done, Mike.
That was way quicker.
It was obviously what that was leading up to in the alarm there.
But, you know what it is.
Yeah. Oh man, I lost it when you get to the Mario Kart part. I'm like, yeah, okay. If I ever have to do this segment, it's going to be called 1 min for the swing. I think
1 min for the swing. I like it.
That's awesome. I want to lose this now just so I can hear it.
I'm sure you'll lose it. Like, there'll be 1 week where there's so many stories that Swinny and I want to talk about.
I would congratulate you for getting through it, Mike, but then you bastardize it. So
yeah, I know. And then he just went
that made it
all the way
for
through.
Me. That made it harder for me trying to add that to everything.
On the fly.
On the fly.
Awesome. All right, let's go into now, unfortunately, my second favorite segment, the bargain bin for the week commencing 4th of July, 2021. So as always, Epic Store delivers. Free game this week is The Spectrum Retreat until the 9th of July. One request from Swinny was to shout out any Amazon Prime gaming deals.
You always have to add that in.
I don't know. I just like it. The free games that are my standouts are Batman, The Enemy Within Telltale game, and The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition.
Ooh.
Yes, I thought you guys would like that.
We chose 1997 as the
On
GOSOY
Steam,
year.
the summer sale continues. The highlights being Hades, $25.15. Persona 4 Golden, $19.50. I might actually pick that up. And Untitled Goose Game for $14.45. Mike, do you want to cover Nintendo and PlayStation?
Sure do. So we got the Takeover at 65% off for $10.15 till the 7th of July. We got Nidhogg 2 for 50% at $11.25 until the 11th of July. And we've got Hypnospace Outlaw for 60% off for $10.30 until the 15th of July.
I feel like you're still got your Minuteman thing, Minute Mike in your head. You're like trying to rush through it.
So on PlayStation, for PS Plus games, I'm stealing your thunder now, Intergot. Available from the 6th of July until the 2nd of August, we have a Plague Tale Innocence on PS5 only. Amazing game. We've had that on Xbox Game Pass as well. We've got Call of Duty Black Ops 4, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, and Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, which is still available until the 5th of August. What about an Xbox? Swinny?
So, yeah, a couple of updates. So first, Games with Gold, we got the next month's worth. So Planet Alpha, Xbox One, is available from 1st of July till 31st of July. Rock of Ages 3, Make and Break, is available from 16th of July till the 15th of August. And for backwards compatible, we've got a OG Xbox game, Conquer Live and Reloaded, available from the 1st of July till the 15th of July, and a 360 game, a collection I really love called the Midway Arcade Origins Collection, available from the 16th of July till the 31st of July. And just to confirm, they're all playable on Xbox One and beyond, backwards compatible. So unfortunately, we've got some pretty sad Game Pass removals leaving on the 14th of July. We have Crosscode leaving console and PC Game Pass.
I've got to play that.
Absolutely great game. If you are interested in playing it, it's not a short game. I would say it's probably about 35, 40 hours if you want to do everything. So get onto it if you want to play it. Downwell, a nice arcade game, or like mobile arcade game, is leaving PC Game Pass, and Endless Space 2 is leaving PC Game Pass.
I'll never stop saying this, but they need to give people more warning. Like Crosscode, you'd have to play it from this point on like 3 to 4 hours a day to be able to get through it.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's so dumb. Downwell is interesting. The guy who wrote Downwell works at Nintendo now. So
great game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I absolutely suck at it, but it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really cool game. And you can actually play it flipped vertically on the Switch as well. Very, very cool. All right, let's get into our features. Swinny?
Yeah, so this week I wanted to take a look at a new game that I randomly saw that I has buzz about it, but I didn't hear about it until basically I just saw an achievement list pop up. I'm like, what is this game? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, this looks awesome. So I essentially played about 15 hours of the gothic metroidvania soulslike called Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. So this game is out essentially on everything or coming out on everything, I should say. So it's available on PC, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X now, but it is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in Q3 2021. I think it was meant to release at the same time. For whatever reason, it was pushed back. So this was developed by a studio named Livewire and published by Binary Haze Interactive. Honestly, I couldn't find much about these two outfits, so it's very possible that this is the first game they've put out, but I'd love to be wrong about that. I'd love to see if they've done anything before this. But yeah, the first thing I'm just going to do is Mike. So this is, right, Metroidvania. This is a Souls-like. This has RPG mechanics. and it's got a cool dark fantasy setting.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Are you going to buy this game? This is an audio podcast. Remember that. Don't just look at me. Don't just look at me. Are you going to buy this game? This game is made for you.
Probably.
So, okay.
It's also got bullet hell like functionality in it. Just looking at the images, it's interesting.
I mean, I've only come across one part of that so far. So, but basically, this game, what is it? So, as I mentioned, they call it a dark fantasy 2D action RPG, but to me, it is really. You could say Metroidvania Souls-like, and it's to me, it just nails it perfectly. And when I say the Metroidvania part is fairly obvious, when I say the Souls-like, I'm saying that as someone that loves the Souls games. So I don't say it lightly because it has a bonfire equivalent called a respite with basically respawns enemies, but that also refills your Estus flask equivalent called prayers. And the enemy placement, which I'll get into a bit as well, is very Souls-like. So it doesn't have a stamina bar, but it also feeds the lore through drip feed, item description things as well. So it's very much got that vibe. You go into a boss fight, it has the name appear above the health bar, just like Soul, it's very Souls in that regard. But what does this game play like? So it has light RPG mechanics. They're definitely light in the sense that you level up and you can equip relics to give you passive buffs, but it's not like you're sitting there speccing a character or anything like that. But you can upgrade something called spirits, and I'll get into a second. But the only other thing is, just like your Symphony of the Night, when you're exploring the world, you'll find items that then boost your health and things like that. So it's very much kind of combining the two worlds of the Metroidvania and the RPG there. But the spirits. So spirits are the skill system of the game, basically the entire combat system. And this is probably the most unique aspect of Ender Lilies, a part, that sets it aside from something like your Hollow Knight or your Symphony of the Night or anything like that. Basically, your character, you play as a little girl that she doesn't actually directly attack the enemies. So she has spirits that basically you can assign to any of you. I think it's like A, B, and X on an Xbox controller that you can basically, that's your moves. And then you can press the RB button to swap to another palette of moves. So basically you can equip up to 6 combat actions at any time. And the spirits appear. So I think Zelda in Smash Brothers, she can summon a Phantom Knight to attack someone. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a Persona from the Persona games, or like a Stan from JoJo, something where this spirit appears around your character and then attacks the enemy. It's really, really neat. It looks great. But mechanically, it's not too different from the Souls in Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow. So in that being, you defeat tough enemies and bosses, and then you gain those abilities via those spirits. So it works in a similar way. You can actually upgrade those spirits. So you can basically, I think level them up to 6 different levels. So that gives them, it basically just gives them more attack power, but also just, I think projectiles, you can shoot more projectiles, and also allows you to do, basically you've got a limited amount. Some of them there's a counter move that you can press a spirit, and you can only do it 14 times. But each time you go back to your respite, your bonfire, it will replenish them all. Basically it's really cool. I really like that particular aspect of the game. As I said, it's probably the most unique part of it. In terms of the world and game design, honestly, if you've played in Metroidvania, you know what to expect, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, hey, it's one of those games. The map will mark an area if it's incomplete, or if you've completed, which is pretty neat. And it'll also show if there's any exits you haven't found. So just glancing at a map, you can immediately tell, hey, do I need to go back and backtrack and to find anything? You can fast travel between those respites as well. So
awesome.
Yeah,
good quality of life thing.
Yeah, and so the enemy placement, to me, this is one of the biggest inspirations from Souls. So it definitely feels like when you're going through the areas, if you just rush through, you're going to get wrecked. You need to actually learn the placements, and it's not random. The enemies are placed each time they get respawned in the exact same places. And it's very closer to Souls than something like Symphony of the Night, where it feels like a lot of the enemies are just fodder. These enemies, you have to kind of be a bit more meticulous until you're overpowered and you run through the weaker enemies. in terms of presentation, honestly, it's got this really cool ethereal gothic vibe to it. It's kind of like a darker Child of Light, if anyone ever played that, but to me, much, much nicer. It looks gorgeous. You can run along the ground and you see reflections of the puddles and, that's just underneath the character as you run past. Really, really neat. The backgrounds have a cool 3D parallax effect. So overall, I think it's a really, really nice looking game. The enemy designs are, they're neat, but nothing super special. Bosses have so far been a bit unremarkable in design. Mechanically, they're pretty fun. And the music is probably my favorite part of the game so far. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's very Nier-esque. With a lot of haunting vocal melodies. It's actually composed by, there's a Japanese indie classical music group called, I think, Millie. I hadn't heard of them before this, but I looked them up after it. And yeah, this soundtrack's getting a lot of buzz. You can purchase it separately on Steam as well, but even on YouTube, there's just people just absolutely loving this. So overall, I think Ender Lilies is really, really good. As I said, I'm still only about 10 to 15 hours in. I don't know if it's a super long game. The only kind of idea I have is there's an achievement for getting up to level 100 and I'm at level 30 and I'm about 10 to 15 hours in. So I don't know if that is an idea of how long the game is, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be super long. So yeah, I really recommend it. I really do.
Awesome.
I'm actually really keen to check this game out.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah. I'm checking if I can get a code for it.
Ooh, can you get 2 codes for it?
No.
Rather than support the developer.
That is supporting the developer. What do you mean? Reviewing is like, that's actually probably more of a support than buying it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The mechanic you mentioned reminds me of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, where you have the kind of like summon things.
Yeah, so they're very much
similar.
Yeah, so that is a good comparison. But the reason I said Ari and Dawn of Sorrow is because obviously they were the inspiration for that stuff for Bloodstained. But yeah, it's very much like, okay, you can find the stuff. And I don't know how many there are. I've probably got about 13 spirits at the moment. Some of them are tied into story bosses. Some of them are tied into just tough enemies you find in the level. But honestly, it's not going to be hard to probably find them all. But they also upgrade your environmental abilities. So Metroidvania style, they will give you double jumps, you swim in water.
That's what I was going to ask next. So they double up as an upgrade.
Some of them do. Some are like the story ones do. Yeah.
Cool.
So that'll gate off your progress and allow you to go back and get new items and stuff. So
boy, this sounds right up
my
alley.
Man. We might be getting a code for it. So yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. I'm really keen to check this out. I reckon I was just checking it on the Switch because this is like one of those weird ones, Mike, that you want to play on the Switch, but is it like Bloodstained where it's like so compromised it's not worthwhile? And from what I've seen, because not many people have reviewed it, it does seem pretty decent on the Switch. It's just like minor hitching. So,
it's fine.
Which I don't mind. It's like that kind of stuff is very subjective and very personal. Like some people, it's like if it hitches like 3 times in an hour, it's too much. Some people, that's fine. So
yeah, but like Bloodstained was fine. It didn't really deter from it that much. But obviously, playing it on Xbox was better experience because I tried it on both.
Yeah,
but also
at the same time, handheld was awesome. So,
but also, when did you play Bloodstained? Because they patched the hell out of that game.
Ooh,
yeah.
Anyway,
it might have been close to launch actually. So that's a good point. Okay.
Yeah. All right. No, very cool. I really want to check that out and see how we go. And yeah, I might just wait for a sale. Otherwise, I'll just pick it up. All right, let's go to our very, very special feature. Our game of some other year, GOSOY,
exciting.
1995. So last week we decided 1995 will be the next year that's bestowed on the game of some other year title. This year, insane roster, the Chrono Triggers, the Donkey Kong Country 2s, the Tekkens, the Ridge Racers. What we have to do, though, is pick 6 games. So that's our official 6 nominees. We are changing it up a little bit, so we have a top 10. So we'll have 4 extra games. So I guess like 7, 8, 9, 10 that we need to work through. We all have one pick that we can just force in if we want to. And that can only happen in that 7, 8, 9, 10 spot. And yeah, we'll go from there. It's going to be on for a young and old, I think. So look at this insanity.
Love it. How long did that take you to lay that out?
Not as long as I look. You know, just a behind the scenes secret of the show. I automate because, I spent all this time learning mathematics and programming and never using it really in my work life, being a business person. But I normally code everything that we do on the show. So that's fast for me to do it. And, it doesn't take time. This, I started coding it, but I was just so tired. I just ended up doing it manually.
See, on my screen, it's quite pixelated, so it's kind of funny. I know what a lot of them are, but I look at Mortal Kombat 3, and the text underneath is just jumbled mess on my screen.
Yeah.
Intergod sometimes makes this mistake and forgets that we have audio listeners. So just to describe this to our audio listeners, we have an array of game covers on the screen, which covers, I think, most of the big games, if not all of them.
It's all of the games that we consider worthy of discussion. So there's 82 from memory.
I was going to say, all right, about 82.
And we're not going to talk about all 82, by the way.
So it's
very
80,
well laid
80.
out.
So there's 80 games that we're considering. And then I think what we do is, so this is also games like, NBA Live 96, stuff like this, right? Where it's just like, I personally think we just go, let's just acknowledge and move on. If makes sense.
That's a number one pick.
So do you want to do a quick pass of just like downing games? So, games that, yes, they're on the list, but probably won't get to the final stages of consideration or discussion. Is that a good approach?
Yeah, all right. Earthbound.
Shut up.
Game, but
screw it.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you idiots. I'm going to take
Trigger,
NBA Live. I'm going to drag down here. NBA Live 96.
Garfield, maybe?
That was my number one.
This baseball game on Saturn.
What about Garfield? Are we really going to...
Yeah, let's drag down Garfield. Where's Garfield?
I mean, it wasn't a bad game. I actually remember playing
Can't you do it like a bit sequentially? It's like... Instead of jumping all over like ADHD, mister.
I can't see.
Yeah, we can't tell what the game is.
Wait, hang on. Let's see if I can make this a little bit.
So that was, I know that's an NFL game, isn't it?
Rayman,
yeah, that's an NFL game. No, leave that. No, leave that. No, I'm just saying the obvious ones that are just like...
okay, well, Ridge Racer. Is Ridge Racer really something?
Wait, no.
You're an idiot. Okay. You're an absolute idiot sometimes.
Fair enough.
All right, second row, NHL, drag that down.
Okay.
None of us are clearly mid-90s sports game fans.
No, I am, but I just think 96 is not a particular interesting year. 94 would have been challenging because you got NHL 94, Madden. There's a whole bunch of games.
There is the game that, and I see where it is. It's right in the middle next to Full Throttle. But the game that I made sure was on here that I do love. But
International Superstar Soccer.
Yeah, Deluxe specifically. I love that game, but I don't think it's going to make the cut.
No. Let's just make quick decisions because it's going to take forever. Clock Tower.
Rice Star.
Just wait. Clock Tower. I wanted to raise it, but I want to drag that down.
Yeah.
How do you know? Maybe I had it.
You don't even know what Clock Tower is. Tell me what Clock Tower is and what's the history behind it.
It's like an adventure game.
You idiot.
A point, well, not quite a point and click, like Myst kind of.
No.
Game.
All right. I'm dragging down D. Madden 96. That's not the best Madden in that era. What else is just like some of the real obvious ones? Beavis and Butthead. Get rid of that.
No,
yeah.
hey.
Okay. Just okay. If it's not super clear, let's just. All right. Cool.
Keep it
How
up
about
there.
Blade Force? I don't even know what that game is.
Yeah, drag that down. So some of these games I've included because they're like 3DO game of the year and all this other kind of stuff.
How about the first Air Combat?
I'm drag that out.
I'm not going to choose that. No, I know it's a beloved series, but
we're not. Yeah.
Yeah. We've called it out. Alpine Racer arcade game. Drag that down.
Nah. Yeah.
This is not getting any easier looking at the rest of the list.
No, but the idea is we
just eliminate some of the real easy ones.
Yeah.
How about Defender 2000 on the Jaguar? I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
Let me look for it.
Okay, to take that one down.
Maybe actually Intergot, you lead it so that you
know
where
here we go.
is.
Yeah. Take that down there.
Okay, what about Rice Star? What's that one? Second row.
Yeah,
Rice Star's a really cool game, but I don't think it's.
I don't think any.
Yeah, let's take that down. It is a kind of crazy year because like a lot of these games, like I've got a list of 18 games and I'm like, Battle Arena Toshinden.
Oh,
all right, move on. If it's at all, we just move on.
Garfield.
Where is it? Which row?
It's on the right hand side.
Here we go.
On the right hand
side.
We
take that down. The Garfield's gone. Some of these games are so small. Fade to Black. Take that out.
No.
Okay, move on.
No.
All right.
Well,
I don't want to discuss it. No.
Fine.
If there's any doubt, Jumping Flash. Take that out.
What's the one with the green man?
Okay.
What's the green man guy?
Vector Man. that
Yeah,
out.
it's all right.
Take
but
that out. All right, take that out.
It is a good game.
The Dig.
No,
Mm.
keep,
All right, move on. No, if there's any doubt, we'll just move on for now, and we'll come back to it. King of Fighters 95, cool arcade game, very seminal for me, but I put that down.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, I'm happy to put
See
it
you,
down.
Terry. Twisted Metal.
I see the thing.
All right, let's move on.
Twisted Metal 2 exists, so I can't. Yeah, no.
So, okay. So wait, was that a yes or a no?
No, take it out.
Oh, take it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it out, yeah.
Because
I
of
wasn't
Twisted
gonna-
Metal 2,
yeah.
unfortunately.
If there's a debate,
Great game
then
again, though.
keep it in. Donkey
No.
Kong Land, fantastic game. Donkey Kong Country 2 was released in the same year. Sorry, that's got to go.
I would not call Donkey Kong Land a fantastic game.
Oh, I think it's actually really cool.
And I played a lot of that bloody
Okay,
game.
I think for what it is, and it's on Game Boy, it's incredible.
It's trash of a game. Donkey Kong Land 2 and 3 are good. Donkey Kong Land can go suck balls.
It's just like Donkey Kong Country 1. Luna, very good game, but
Yeah,
all right, let's move on.
it's
Let's move on.
There's way better RPGs this year.
So move
probably
it
take it
out.
out.
Okay, move
Take
it out.
Yeah.
Gex, 3DO game.
Nah.
Oh, I remember it, but take it out.
Poor
Yeah.
Gex. Really
I
sold
remember
well though, Gex.
That was a good game.
A lot of
I
these
enjoyed
games
it.
are great. They're just not
Yeah.
going to have a chance in our top.
World Heroes Perfect.
Nah.
Out.
It's out.
All right.
Sorry, fighting game fans. We're trashing a lot of the SNK games.
No, but there are a
but-
lot of fighting games on this list though. That's some of the struggle. Oh man, it's already getting like a lot of games I either want to talk about or.
What's that? Eternal Empress? I have no idea what it says.
Eternal Champions.
Eternal Champions.
So that is
Good.
I wish I'd played that game more. It's a big
on the
Mega Drive
Mega
game,
CD?
but, yeah.
All right, that's out. So I'm just dragging these all the way down to the
Okay,
bottom for
yep.
now.
What's the Chaos? The one that just moved a little bit.
Chaos Control.
Not
What's
sure
that
of that game.
All right,
I
let's
don't
drag it
know.
out. We don't know it.
So
Might
it could
end
be
up
the
being a
best
really
game of the year.
good
Just
game, too. Just drag out the best game of
Just
the
drag
whole
the
year.
games we don't know. Magoria.
Phantasmagoria, no.
Very seminal game for me. I remember when it was like banned in Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of the early banned games, but that's not going to be game of the year.
I don't think that game's regarded
Probably
for its
not.
quality of the game itself. So
No, it's not. Yeah, Crusader. We already mention that?
Oh,
Crusader.
see,
No
I
Remorse?
want to keep
All right,
that one.
move on.
I like that one.
Let's just move on. Okay, no. Ooh, I'm really just trying to pick off the easy wins here, but this is getting.
WrestleMania? Was that
Oh yeah,
good
let's
that year?
get.
yeah, you can. That game's not bad.
Where
but,
is it?
Not top 10.
Where is
I don't know where it
Which
is.
row?
Mike just pulled
Oh,
it
Ah,
up.
freaking
so
hell,
third
Mike.
row. Third row,
midway
third one.
at the end, or
Third.
third. Okay,
Third
yeah.
from the
Drag
left,
that out. Warhawk, move it out.
Probably one. Yeah, probably.
Swinny,
Yeah.
any objections?
No objections.
Okay, no objections. So you know what? It feels like we've done hundreds, but we're not even halfway.
Oh,
Have
gosh.
we? Did we already take out World Series baseball?
Let me just double.
I don't know
check.
where it is.
No, yeah, we have. All
All right,
Okay.
cool. Oh, it's
Mm.
getting tougher.
It is. God, dude, it's elevated already.
Mhm.
Because I'm also skipping over ones that I think like, you know, you guys might raise an objection to. So I'm not even mentioning it at this stage. Night Warriors. So the
Don't know what that. Darkstalkers.
Yeah, Darkstalkers for us.
Yeah, no, there's no.
we're going to
unfortunately
get
not.
so much hate from.
But I mean, it's not like we're saying like the fact that these games were even appeared on here means that they were considered.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
want to flag it. We like it. Like that game was really cool. I remember in the arcades at the time, man, that was sick. That looks so sick, that game. Comic Zone, very cool looking game on the Mega Drive / Genesis.
Let's not trash it just yet.
Okay. Descent.
Mm.
Very
I'm
cool
more
game,
of-
but I just can't see it in the top 10.
There's
for me.
another very
can't
similar
either.
game in this list that I would leave in over it. So
I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't mentioned
Terminal
it yet.
Velocity.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
All right, they're different
yeah.
games, but okay, yeah.
No,
You
but they're
can-
very similar.
Oh,
In
very
style.
similar.
So
So we'll get rid of
Yeah,
Descent.
I reckon you can probably get rid of that one. I
Okay.
won't pick it as good as it is.
All right. Oh, this is, I mean, we
That
are
was a good
cutting into
game.
the real games now. Well, no, that's a terrible way to phrase it. We're cutting into the games that I think some people would put in their top 10 now. Mega
the
Man
game?
7.
Yeah, I'm not going to choose Mega Man 7.
I'm not going to choose it either, so.
Very, very cool game. I like it, but no.
Kirby?
What's the top right game? I
This
can't
one?
tell what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, this is
Very, very
Tales.
Yeah, I've tried to love Tales of Fantasia. I don't know if it's just because I I had to play it emulated. There was no other way I could play it, and also translated. I don't think it's going to make our top 10.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, if you're not lobbying for it, definitely won't be. So
yeah, it's obviously started a series that I do love, but
I kept it in there for you. I kept that in there for you.
Yeah. And you mentioned Kirby, Mike. Which Kirby? There's 2 Kirby games.
Kirby's Avalanche.
Ooh,
move on.
Yeah, okay. Move on. Okay.
Okay, like Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy.
No.
Okay. It's actually a really good game, but yeah, it's going to move that.
Have any of us played it?
Yeah, I've played it on the emulator. Not the real version. And then also Red Alarm. Let me just search for where Red Alarm is. Red Alarm's... wait, that's not Red Alarm. Yeah, Red Alarm's here. That's another very famous Virtual Boy game that I'm going to drag because you guys definitely wouldn't have played that. Oh, man.
Should we be playing it, though?
Jesus, what's this game?
Any more fighting games that were unlikely to be...
Oh, no, we already said that we were not going to move that game. I am skipping over games that I think you will raise an objection to.
How about Time Crisis?
Yeah.
No, let's just keep it for now. Destruction Derby?
The sequel was better, so unfortunately I'm going to say no.
I enjoyed it back in the day, but no, you can take it out.
That game was so
awesome.
It's
cool. Very important. Will any of us pick
it? It's such a 90s game, man.
It's very important. It's very important to the early days of the PlayStation, but there's also other games on here that represent that better for me.
Oh, and much more important as well. Yeah, definitely. We're making progress. Yeah. Like, can you guys eyeball? Like, what are we looking at here?
What about Dark Forces?
We're about 25 or so. Yeah, Dark Forces.
I love Jedi Knight. I love Jedi Knight, but I didn't spend enough time with the original.
Different kind of game too. It was more of a first-person shooter from memory.
Well, Jedi Knight was also.
Happy to take it out.
Yeah,
personally.
Look, I love this game, but yeah,
same.
I think we have to get into the ones where are we realistically getting into the 10, the top 10. All right. So,
I've got a game that I 100% want to trash.
Yeah, which one?
Is Dracula X.
Oh, really? Why?
It's a horrible game.
It's not a horrible game.
It is. It's absolute trash of a game. It is Rondo of Blood is a great game, and that is a horrible, horrible adaptation of it. I hired that game out, and I'm so sad that I wasted my money on that piece of shit.
Tell us what you really think.
And I love Castlevania.
I feel like we
Dracula
should
X
force it in.
Yeah, that's going to be my forced nominee now.
You guys played Dracula X?
No.
Yeah, I have played it, but I don't hate on it as much as you do.
We just want you to play it
but
again.
It's out. Okay, it's out. Jeez, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's out.
I don't care if I offend anybody. It's a shit game.
All right, now come at swinny at gmail.com and send all your hate mail to him, not to me.
I feel sorry for that person that has that account.
Swinny at gmail.com.
What are you saying? It's this Swinny. All right.
How about Rayman?
See, look, we've got to get into the ones that are like not going to make it, right?
You're not going to make it, and
I like the game. Yeah,
same, but I also feel like it's going to be a really hard one to judge because it's that PlayStation 3D era that just doesn't really hold.
It's not 3D. It's 2D. It's 2D.
Was it the 2D? Oh, that was the 2D one.
Don't worry, viewers. Swinny and Intergot will drive this.
Yeah.
No, look, I don't know. Amazing series. Later games just incredible. Like 9/10 out of 10 games, but yeah, this one definitely doesn't hold up as well. All right, so Rayman's gone. Can we do a different thing now? Can we?
Yes.
So I'll start dragging things around a little bit.
Okay.
Can we start just going, what are things that we think are just locks for ballpark top 10?
Okay, right. That I'm going to
So we can just separate a little bit. You want to do that, Swinny?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay. So let's where's Chrono
one
Trigger?
Each? Why don't we at this point, do you guys want to do one each?
Sure. And this is not like saying these are in the top 10. We just think that, from our perspective, they're top 10 games.
Yeah.
All right, you go, Mike.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Heroes of Might and Magic.
Okay.
At the bottom, the third one.
Yep. All right. Swinny?
I'm going to go Mortal Kombat 3.
Whoa, interesting. Okay. I'm going to go for Earthbound.
Okay, I'm going to go with Worms.
Okay. Swinny?
I'm going to go with, sorry, I'm just looking around with Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Whoa. Where is it?
It's going to be such an
Third,
interesting mix.
It's third.
First row, third.
Yeah.
I am going to go with, and I've got to look for it. It's a bit tricky because I've moved everything and I've lost all my places. Tactics Ogre.
Oh, okay. Warcraft 2.
Warcraft 2. Where is it, Mike? Help me
It's
out
in
here.
the top row in the middle.
Middle-ish.
Yeah. That's the one I downloaded a specific cover because when he called it out.
Is it me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going for Earthworm Jim 2.
Whoa.
It's second.
Damn.
Interesting one. Okay, cool.
I'm going to go for... I'm going to say second Densetsu 3.
Okay, Full Throttle. And
Where-
the middle.
where?
That's in the
almost
middle,
bang
second
in the
row.
middle.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Donkey Kong Country 2.
Well, we've already got 10 here, but...
No. Like
Okay.
I think at this point
Donkey Kong Country 2.
we're gonna kind of start to see process elimination here. You know.
Well, I'm going to go Yoshi's Island.
Okay, I'm going to go I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream at the middle, over to the right, next to Ridge Racer and next to Mech Warrior.
This one?
Middle. Yep, that's the one.
All right, let me try to squeeze this in.
Yeah. I'm laboring this because you're dragging stuff around. I'm going to go Secret of Evermore.
Oh, okay, cool.
You might as well just put Chrono Trigger in there, bloody hell.
You going to help me? Where
Just
is
drag
it?
it in there. Just drag it in there. Just
Put it in.
drag it in.
Where is it?
Second, middle of the second row, on the left
Middle
of the middle,
second row. Yep.
left
okay.
of the middle. Yeah.
All right, let's just put that up here. All right, well, let's just hold that for now because that's
I've
that's
got a few
way more than
that
10.
I want.
Well, that's
but
more than
okay.
10 anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like Darkseid. I'd like Crusader. I like
Yeah,
Command and
we're
Conquer, please.
going to get through the rest, though.
All right, let's start cutting. Let's go back to the cutting. You know how much I am an obsessive fan of Picross and Mario's Picross. Amazing game. I just struggle to see how it's going to be in the top 10.
I agree. It's a good game,
same.
but yeah. It's also Picross. It's kind of like... It's Picross, you know. It's great.
like,
It's great, but it's not kind of like top 10 material grade.
I don't agree with that kind of thought pattern. Like, you know, if it was a year that Tetris came out, I'd be fighting for that to be in the top 10. I think Tetris is one of the greatest games ever. And you can just go, it's just Tetris. It's not very much to it. Picross, I love Picross, man. I freaking love Picross.
I'm gonna take out Hexen if you guys want. Love the game back in the day, but I just
I'm glad
don't
we got it
see
here.
as
I love Hexen.
being agreed.
What
by
a
all
cool
of us.
era of games, you know, where they're just modding it and, you know, like they're going on to go onto Call of Duty, like, you know, leading some of the Call of Duty games. It's pretty incredible.
I'm suggesting we take out Wipeout. It is a very well-regarded
Controversial,
game.
I know. Yes.
No, but like again, like
I know.
I agree, though.
These are all good games, or most are good games.
Not
Wipeout. Yeah, not Dracula's. Wipeout is obviously one of them. Again, like I can't separate the fact that I've seen what a better version of that game is, and that's that's not the last game on this list. That also I feel the same.
Okay. I think I know where you're going to go with that. I think I'm already forecasting. I won't remove games that Mike has added. I'm struggling,
if you really, really want to, but it depends which one.
I'll probably get rid of Street Fighter Alpha. So Street Fighter Alpha, insane game, and also kind of like not rebooted, but you know, Street Fighter was kind of like hitting a lull with Street Fighter 2 and just the deviations on that, and it really shook the formula up, revitalized the franchise. I mean, not revitalized; it just grew the franchise even more.
I think from memory, Alpha 2 is where that series really found its footing. That's where a lot of the hallmarks of that series really came into play. And obviously Alpha 3 was just like had so much stuff in it. So
yeah, I think Alpha 2 is the best. But Alpha, I think, had the biggest impact from like living through that. But yeah, we were going to remove it for now.
Yeah, I'm okay with
and
that.
by the way, any of these games that are removed, theoretically you could add back in with your one pick to add a game in to the 7 to 10 mark.
Could in theory, but I feel like there's already plenty of games on the screen left that will fall.
I know, I'm just saying.
that.
I'm just mentioning.
Like, to me, these are the clear. None of us are probably going to pick any of these games. That's why they're down there.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you guys think of MechWarrior 2? Amazing game.
Oh, amazing game.
So many fun
good.
memories of it. But are any of us really going to go pick that for Game of the Year?
It's borderline for me, like 10 in the top 10. But
Okay, keep
it's-
it then. No, keep it. Keep
no,
it up.
I'm happy to remove it.
It's a no from me. Again, like that series was very important. Weirdly, I actually like the SNES, weird SNES ports of those games.
Oh, really?
But,
Wow.
yeah. They're so obviously very different. They're not 3D.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Any
so many
suggestions,
fun
Sweeney?
memories of MechWarrior.
I'm going to suggest Dragon Quest 6.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never played it. I don't know if it's well regarded entry in the series. If it is, then I apologize, but I haven't played it, so I can't speak to it. So
Yeah, I think in those early days, probably Dragon Quest 3 is the one that is in everyone's mind as the generational one that they really call out. And it's also the one that's getting the Octopath treatment. So
one day I'm going to play through them all and then I'll regret that decision, I'm sure.
yeah, but
about
I think
Panzer-
you got to also think, Swinny, it's going to go up against like Chrono Trigger, right? Like, it definitely doesn't have that cachet for people. I'm just going to say Command and Conquer.
Ooh.
So that I actually had that high in my list, to be honest. It is in my top 10, my personal top 10 when I look at it. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to look through all these other games and I'm like, oh, geez, like, how's it going to fit?
I agree. If this was the year that Red Alert hit, it'd be a different story for me.
Yeah, Red Alert, dude, I was going to say the exact same thing. Red Alert, man. Whew, I love that game.
I don't see. There's other things I'd taken out instead, like Fate to Black. As good as that game was, I don't know if had the
All
same
right,
sort
well,
of
do you want to
impact
just
that
put it
Command
on
and
the
Conquer.
borderline? And
I'll probably put it on the
talk about
borderline,
it a
yeah.
little bit later. We'll talk about it again. Fade to Black, I'll take out. Everyone comfortable with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's done.
Good game. That was the sequel to.
Terminal Velocity. I know that we spoke about Descent.
Wait, no, but whose turn? It's Mike's turn.
Oh, I don't know. Are we doing it in turns now?
I thought we would keep
All right,
going around.
let's keep going. It's working.
Okay, well, I would keep Dark Sea 2.
Keep.
No,
we're
eliminating.
removing.
We're eliminating.
Me.
I just want to make sure we're keeping it.
Fuck me.
What Panzer Dragoon? Was that any? I haven't played it, so I don't know.
That game was probably one of the biggest Saturn games, but I never played the original. I think it's important for us to at least acknowledge the fact that, that was one of the biggest games of that era.
It's the biggest Saturn game. I think it's the biggest Saturn game.
Yeah, but also I know that the love is more so for like your Panzer Dragoon Saga, where it kind of the series, where it went as opposed to the first game. But I don't think any of us are going to put it in our top 10.
No,
Unfortunately not.
I had it in my like 18. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't even have it in my 18. Okay.
So I think it's probably out.
Yeah, it's out. Panzer Dragoon.
It's getting tougher.
What's the game? I can't see what it is. The first game on the top row now.
The adjusted one. Polestar.
Polestar, what is that? I can't see what that game is.
Let me just look it up.
Clearly,
Arcade.
we don't know what it is, so we're not going to be choosing it. So that's my choice. So
yeah, Neo Geo game.
Yeah, it obviously could be a great game.
Well, highly regarded by a lot of people.
Let me just see a screenshot of it, but I don't think it's going to make it regardless. So.
It's a horizontal shooter. But yeah, let's remove it. It's actually highly regarded by a lot of people. I didn't know if you guys had played it before, so I wanted to make sure it's on the list. I haven't played it.
You're up
my removal, and we should be removing games that we care about. Super Bomberman 3. I absolutely adore Bomberman and the SNES Bomberman. I know the Saturn Bomberman is probably the best Bomberman in that era. You could play 10 players. I do think on the SNES, the series did peak probably with Bomberman 5. You could just do so much crazy shit in that. That was only Japan only. But I used to play that a lot. It was really fun. Super Bomberman 3 is the Western release. That's the latest. It was great, but I think that's got to go.
Yeah, I love it, but we got to cut. We got to cut the ones we love as well. So.
Cut the ones we love. All right, Mike, what's a cut?
What's the one with the half-naked dude? Top row.
Tekken.
The original Tekken.
The first game.
Yeah, maybe focus on ones that you would cut.
Specifically the PlayStation Tekken.
Yeah.
The arcade release was released in 94.
94.
Late 94, yeah. I believe.
It's getting hard. What's the bottom left? Sorry, not the bottom left, not Kirby's Avalanche, above Kirby's Avalanche. What's that one?
Toshin, is that Toshinden? I can't
Yeah,
see.
Battle Arena Toshinden.
I think we can cut that.
Yeah, probably cut
that
that.
is
All right.
that series got better with I think number 2.
Yep.
But it's just there's better games, unfortunately. So
All right, you got to cut one of your games, Mike.
he could just call that out. So it's my turn.
Oh, okay.
What about XCOM? XCOM Terror from the Deep. I've
Yeah.
never played
I
it.
don't know. The original XCOM.
No, this is the sequel, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was the first one.
Sequel to the original?
So
I thought this was...
I was looking it up because I wasn't sure. Let me double check that because I thought it said it was a sequel to XCOM something.
Oh, I think this is just the wrong image. I think.
So I'm just going on there now.
Oh, no.
It
You're
is
right.
a sequel.
It's
a sequel to
yeah.
XCOM UFO Defense.
Ah, okay. Then, yeah, we'll take that one out.
All right.
Sorry, I thought it was the
It's
original for
gone.
some reason.
Yeah, the original was 94.
Yeah.
All right, that's out. All right, Comic Zone.
Yeah, I
Very
think we need to cut
insanely
it now.
cool game.
I know.
We don't
I know.
actually have good reps for like Genesis specifically, and Comic Zone is definitely one of them. You know, we're very much like, at least Swinny and I, Nintendo boys back in those days. Definitely
this
want to
is
shout
my-
it out.
This is my favorite Genesis only game on here, honestly.
Same for me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although some of the games
we keep saying Genesis, it's the bloody Mega Drive.
Mega Drive for us, yeah. But I mean, I do think sometimes the Genesis version's probably a little bit superior in some of these games. I believe Earthworm Jim, I think, is better.
Not sure about the sequel. I think the first one.
Okay, maybe it's just
first one, maybe, but yeah. Anyway, it's gone. So Mike,
that was a quick drag.
Back up to me again.
All right, so we're getting there. Like, so just to catch everyone up, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 games in our top 10. Sounds like us. And then we've eliminated like a shed load of games, like 50 games. And then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 games to decide. So we've got about 30 games in a top 10.
this process is working well so far. So.
Yeah, it's not too well, when we're making all the easy decisions.
Yeah, but we're getting there.
I know. That's the strategy I use at work. Just do all the easy stuff. Just lull people in a false sense of security, and then trick people.
All right, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Ooh, tricky one. So as
don't want
much
a
as I
5-hour
want to
show.
keep, as much as I want to keep it on the list, I know we can't keep everything, so I'm gonna have to take Crusader out.
Where am I looking at?
Crusader,
No Remorse in the middle.
Crusader, no remorse.
What do you guys think?
It's a game that I always wanted to play. I never got a chance. It always looked cool. It's like the game I'd see
Awesome
in
looking
magazines,
game,
and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, that game looks sweet.
Yeah. But I don't know if tough one.
So I'm going to suggest I'm going to suggest Phantasy Star 4. Now, Phantasy Star 4 is...
You're just hating on the Genesis Mega Drive community.
So Phantasy Star 4 is, I think, regarded as the best Phantasy Star game. I just haven't played it, so I can't speak to it. And I've only played through Phantasy Star 2, and that game has a lot of issues. It was all right, but I just don't think, as great as I've heard that Phantasy Star 4 is, it's not going to make our top 10. So that's why I'm suggesting it be cut. Not because it's a bad game.
Yeah, I struggle. Like, so this game is super highly regarded. Like, insanely highly regarded. And like, just put bias on the table, right? You know, we didn't grow up, Swinny or I, really, like with a Mega Drive. So I don't think we have that kind of like rose tinted glasses on games. And I'm sure that we over egg some of the Super Nintendo games that we love. I actually have tried to play this game and it didn't gel with me, man. It really didn't gel with me. So yeah, we can't make the list. Damn.
Yeah. Unfortunate. One day I'll hope to play it.
Oh, this is an easy one, actually. X-Men Children of the Atom. Cool arcade game. Like, such a cool game. But I just, don't know. I feel like there's better arcade games on this list that we haven't even put in there. But I don't know. I'm thinking we remove it. What do we think?
Yeah, it's kind of, I agree. It's such a cool game.
Such a cool game. All right, Mikey.
Oh, maybe potentially controversial, but Terminal Velocity.
I don't think it's controversial.
Well, it's a huge game.
I'm happy to remove it.
But yeah, that's my next one.
Apogee. It's yeah, I agree. I love Turn Velocity. I'm glad that it took this long for us to cut it. It's a very important game of early 3D on the PC. I think it's great, but unfortunately, it's not going to make our top 10.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Jesus.
All right, it's my time to peek.
Oh, is it your turn? Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, you go.
So I'm going to suggest we cut Tekken.
Oh, whoa. We're getting into the deep cuts now. Shit. Really?
I say that as a Tekken fan.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because the first Tekken's very rough.
It is very rough. Yeah.
Tekken 2 is where the series is like that's where it became the series that people love to this day. The first Tekken I played heaps. Like I played that game so much. It's just really rough, and it's it's understandable that it's rough. It was the first game in a series. It was early 3D fighters. I just don't think it's going to make our top 10. It was almost like a good prototype for what Tekken 2 would be. And obviously Tekken 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. So
I mean, like, let's talk about this, right? Let's lift the hood on this. So the way we do this is we are picking when it first released in English-speaking countries, right? And then there's weird exceptions. And see, Tekken's one of them. So Tekken was released in arcade in 94 and then PlayStation in 95. Tekken 2 was released in the arcades in the West in 95. So should Tekken 2 be on the list?
No. Because I think that for me, the notable, like,
the seminal release is the PlayStation one.
Yeah, that's like we get to make these choices. I'm not saying
we hold the pen, motherfucker.
I'm saying this is not like, it has to be exactly what everyone's going to agree with. I think if we're going to represent any game, even in these discussions, the notable one of 94 to me was the PlayStation port of Tekken 1.
Yeah.
And if we were talking 96, then I guess that was when Tekken 2 was ported, I think, 96.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Then you'd be talking about Tekken 2 in 96. Yeah.
Look, I just want to raise it, because I'm sure someone will raise it. But
yeah.
Look, it wasn't that big. I don't know. Maybe it's just the arcades that we went to. Tekken wasn't that big in the arcades we went to. Now, I know that Tekken was really big in the arcades, but maybe that's more so in Japan and the US. But it was definitely the PlayStation version was massive. That was my recollection of it.
It's not a controversial opinion to say that Tekken 1 was was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of people think
that.
Yeah, no,
but
totally. It's fun.
People
it's
love
fun.
It,
And yeah, so I think, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm raising it up the ranks though on the
in the pile.
There we go. It's on the top of the
sneaking up just
rejected
a bit.
pile. Shit, it's above actually some of the other stuff I wanted to put in. All right, my go. I had one. What was it? Oh yeah. So we're gonna cut the children that we love. I gotta go Time Crisis.
Yes, I agree. Because how are we even going to play
it? No, there's arcades. I've got an arcade that has Time Crisis. I absolutely adore Time Crisis.
So we'd have really to go to an arcade to play that.
Okay, yeah. Breakdown lockdown just for that.
I agree.
In Sydney, I think you're actually allowed to go to the arcade. It's bizarre.
What?
I know. Yeah, just before Mike interrupted, and you're well and truly back to your interrupter in chief title. Yeah, this game was unreal. Like, it was so cool. This and Point Blank were just, as far as gun games, and maybe House of the Dead, that was just the fucking peak period of like light gun games in the arcade. And I, in a way, I think light gun games have just so fallen away because of the technology you have at home with, LCD, flat panels, stuff like that. It doesn't support it. So I think it's really killed the arcade version of these games.
I think we take it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic game. Love that game. Love that game. I'm also going to put it up. Where is it?
Oh, okay. So, Ridge Racer.
Wait, is that a game you love?
I did very much so on PlayStation, yeah.
I like he protects all of his shitty games.
No. They're not shitty games.
Is Beavis and Butthead legitimate? Is that literally going to be?
Beavis and Butthead still?
Nah.
Because it's a legitimately great game.
Swinny,
shut up.
Is there any universe that's going to be in our top 10?
No.
Okay.
What?
Same. It's gone. That's your pick, Mike.
What? Are you serious? Hang on. Keep it near the top because that might be the one where I shove it in.
Oh, come on, mate. Really?
Okay.
Put it back.
What the hell is it? Even is the game?
Put it back.
I'm going to think about how this is going to work. Okay. The way we're going to do this is I'm doing rules on the fly. I don't know if I want this rule, actually. I was just thinking about it.
Let's just keep going. I think let's just keep going what we're doing.
I'm thinking if someone does something so insane, I'm like, we should be able to burn our own choice to remove it.
No, you can't.
Maybe if two people go against it.
They have one choice and they have to be able to keep that choice.
All right, let's keep going. So, Mike, you're suggesting Ridge Racer? You know what? Yes. I'm going to agree. Ridge Racer was so important for the PlayStation.
Oh.
Like, pretty much most PlayStation platforms, and at least for the first few, launched with a Ridge Racer game.
Yep.
Ridge Racer Type 4 is probably my favorite racing game outside of like your arcadey Mario Kart stuff. But the original Ridge Racer, kind of like Tekken, was like, to me, like a rough prototype for where the series would go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Do we want to just go from the left?
Mike, let's just keep going. So Jumping Flash is a game I love, but it's not going to make a top 10. Let's be serious. I just wanted to at least just acknowledge that that's probably the first PlayStation game I ever played, and it was just really, really neat, really, really cool and unique. And there've been very few games like the Jumping Flash game since. So I reckon we cut it.
All right, cut. I'm as the Nintendo shill on the podcast. I think given that we have Kirby's Dream Land 2 in a top 15, top 10 list, I think Kirby's Avalanche we can remove. Very, very cool game, but I just can't see it as a top 10 game.
I agree. I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Was it Kirby's?
Kirby's, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, so I had another title, but basically it's Puyo Puyo. And Puyo Puyo is great.
Ghost Trap.
Yeah. But it's also Puyo Puyo, you know. So
sorry,
I agree.
We should just call out that, for people who are too young, back, when we were growing up, games would often be called other things in different regions. It's just really strange. And then
like Resident Evil and Biohazard.
Well, no, not really like that. I'm talking about like English releases. So Kirby's Avalanche was US, and then for us it was Kirby's Ghost Trap. But that's also weird for us because we grew up as well playing emulated stuff. So then I started to learn the US names of things as well. So, all right, that's confusing. Cool. That was me. So you're next, Mike.
Question about Killer Instinct.
Can we just call out quickly? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left.
Okay. Quick question about Killer Instinct. Is that just the SNES version specifically that year?
Yeah, specifically that.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it's a version that...
Are these games you love? I feel like you're picking everyone else's game.
I did, but I can't say I loved the SNES version specifically. So...
Have you ever played the SNES game?
I have. I have a SNES.
Okay.
So, but that particular game particularly on SNES, I don't know. It's not. It was a real release, so to speak, right? So it wasn't really
the SNES
groundbreaking.
The SNES version is basically considered to be the major release of that game by most people.
Yeah, I would definitely consider it like that.
Super, super like massive, that game when it came out. It came with an awesome soundtrack. I love Killer Instinct.
So we got to keep it then.
I don't think it's going to make our top 10.
Yeah, I think given the other games that you guys have whacked into the top 10 as well. So we have 15 in the top 10, and then we've got 6 on the outer.
Tough one.
I think we take it. I still feel like it might come back, but okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, keep it near the top-ish.
Combo breaker.
Yeah. It might come back up.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up again. I think we need to get rid of Command & Conquer.
Okay, fine.
I just think that there's just too much other stuff.
It's a tough one because between that and Warcraft 2, if we're going to have to pick one, it's going to probably be Warcraft 2.
That was my thinking. So I actually originally had Command & Conquer like kind of above Warcraft 2, and then I'm like, nah, Warcraft 2. I played that a lot. And then Red Alert is just so much better in my mind that I can't shake it. Oh, geez, sorry.
No, I'm just trying to just push us along.
Breath of Fire 2. I think we should remove that.
Wait. Man, that's such a good game.
It is such a good game, but
I have to look it up.
Unfortunately, it's Chrono Trigger, Secret of Evermore. I love those games more.
well, yeah,
So-
Earthbound. You got like a shitload of RPGs.
Oh, I don't love Earthbound more than Breath of Fire 2. That's
No,
for
I'm just
sure.
saying that in the relative scheme of things, and then what our own preferences are, and everything as a
okay.
collective. It's
Okay,
just,
yeah.
it's not going to be in your top 2 potentially even of RPGs.
Breath of Fire 2 is also pretty slow to start, so yeah, let's cut.
Oh, we're down to 3. So we got, what is this? Darkseid 2, Virtual Fighter 2, and The Dig.
All right, Mike.
Ooh.
At some point, you're going to have to pick one of these PC games.
I know. So, god damn it.
Yeah,
the
you can't have
Dig-
100 of these PC games in the list.
I know I can't. So the problem is a lot of point and click games came out that year.
Hmm.
And really good ones too, like The Dig, Full Throttle, Darkseid 2.
I have no mouth.
Yeah. Look, as much as I really want to play it again and maybe even try to make you guys play it, I'm going to have to take out Darkseid 2.
Darkseid 2.
So Darkseid
Yeah.
2 was the HR Geiger style one, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was a sequel to the original, more realistic looking. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny,
check
with
that
all
out.
these lists, we've just been taking
Tough one.
everything. We could have just removed everything. Like,
Yeah. So, okay. So my choice, unfortunately, I'm going to choose Virtua Fighter 2.
to remove, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic game. It's probably the game I played the original the most in the arcades, but number 2 stepped it up so much that we've got to cut this stuff. We've got to cut it. I love Virtua Fighter 2, but we've got to cut it.
Yeah, I had it on my list as well, but I guess we remove it. It's tough because as soon as you remove it, you kind of don't think about these games at the bottom that have been dragged down.
Yeah.
I don't even really know The Dig, so I can't really comment.
Really
on it.
cool adventure game.
LucasArts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I just expand everything out, right? So let's
Yeah.
just make this a
Keep it.
16,
Yeah.
and let's
Yep.
try to nail it down to 6.
I never got a chance to play The Dig. I know it's very well regarded, but the thing is, there's to me a LucasArts game that I'm very very fond of in this list already.
Yes.
In Full
Yeah.
Throttle. So if I'm going to choose any LucasArts adventure game, I'm going to choose Full Throttle to be here.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing with me as well. I don't know if you just want to call it straight now. I love The Dig, but we can't have 50 different point and click adventure games on this list. So
There's
we can
already
kill
three.
The
There's
Dig.
three.
We can
There's
kill The
already
Dig.
three.
Would you want to kill The
So-
Dig then?
reluctantly, yes.
Okay. So we're down to 15 now, people.
Very reluctantly.
So what I'm doing is I'm just resizing these things so that we can see it a little bit clearer.
Now, I'm suggesting we do something a little different. Do we want to see if there's any games that we all have on our list?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to do. So this
Cool.
is the 6, yeah? This
Okay.
is the 6. So
Yeah.
top 6. No debate. Just like, is it on yes or no? Move on. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do it like that?
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. Would you want to just quickly rotate through, or should I just read them all out, or what should we do?
Just go one by one and maybe we'll see if it's all on our list.
Well, I'll skip
Yep.
the ones that aren't on my list, so I won't even
Okay.
say them, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Full Throttle.
Full Throttle's on mine.
Yep. On mine as
Okay,
well.
so that's in the 6 already. Maybe. That's not 100% definitive, by the way. Chrono Trigger.
It's on
Yep.
mine.
Mine list.
Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
It's on mine.
Quick Mike.
And by the way, when I say on
No,
mine,
no,
it's in,
mine.
Okay,
it's
move
in my
on.
10. It's
Yoshi's
in my
Island.
10. It's in
Oh,
my
no,
10.
I'm doing 6, Swinny. I'm doing 6.
Well,
Because I just want to just cut some of them out so then we can...
then Chrono Trigger's not on my 6.
Whoa. All right, no comment. That's what I said. So Full Throttle. I'm moving this out then.
Full Throttle is.
I'm moving Full Throttle back out.
Throttle's on my-
wasn't
Full
on our
Throttle's
list.
on my 6.
Yeah.
No, but it's not on my 6. Yoshi's
Oh.
Island. Yoshi's Island.
Wait.
It's not
So
working
are
at
we-
all. Do
Right,
we
right.
have any
Let's
shared top
clarify.
6?
Let's clarify. We're doing it's in our 10 or in our 6.
Huh?
Are we doing it's in our 10 list?
It's
or
in our
six?
6
Such
list.
an
It's
exciting
in our
part of the
6
podcast.
list.
Okay, now I've got
listeners.
to order my. Just one
No, it
second.
doesn't need to be in order. It's just what's in the 6.
No, I have to order it so I can read it.
Okay, sorry. Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, that's definitely my
Mike?
top.
It's not in my top 6.
Earthbound.
Not in my top 6.
Not in my top.
So there's no 6 games.
I don't know if we
We
have
all
any.
only have top 6. Fuck me. We are,
I
okay,
love
so
it.
everyone, we're 2 hours into this podcast, and I feel like this is going to go for 5 hours. This now.
So
Okay, what-
I was going to say, what's your argument for Tactics Ogre into it?
Oh, I love tactics games, and this was one of the preeminent tactics games. Didn't come out in the West, but has been translated and everything like that. And yeah, it's just one of the top tactics games from that era. It's kind of like predating Final Fantasy Tactics.
Do you think it's going to hang with the other RPGs in this list?
Oh, it's different. I know it's an RPG, but it's a different sort of gameplay style as well.
But do you think it's going to hang with Chrono Trigger and you know, I guess Earthbound and all that stuff?
I'd put it above all but 2.
Okay.
I'd eliminate Secret of Evermore first before that one.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, no, I'm just saying you're asking the question. All right, do you want to do top 10s then? What's in the top 10?
All right, I think that makes sense.
Okay,
So
Full Throttle. I think
Full Throttle is in the
said
top
it.
10, yeah.
Chrono Trigger, we all said it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger's in the top 10.
back to the drawing board.
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yes, in my top 10.
Mike,
No,
quick,
but
just
put
say
it-
yes or no.
it's not. But I
Okay,
don't really
no,
have that
move
many
on.
SNES
Worms.
games in there, so
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I can't believe Worms is there, but not fucking Donkey Kong Country 2. Moving on. I said no comment. No comment. Yoshi's Island.
Yes.
Quick, Mike. It's just yes or no.
Yes.
No, is
no,
it in
no,
your top
it's
10?
not. It's not.
No, it's not.
Well,
but
then
put
that's
it
the
as a
answer,
yes.
you idiots. No. Earthbound.
Yes.
Never played it, but yes.
Okay.
Is it in your top 10, Mike?
Have you got a
It's
top
in
10
my-
list?
it-
I feel
it's
like
in
you're
my
just
top
making it
10.
up as we
Okay.
go.
No. It is. But I've never played it. But I want to play it, so it's in my top 10
Okay.
because I heard so much about it.
So just to recap for people. So Full Throttle, Chrono Trigger, Worms, and Earthbound. 4 games are in the
Okay.
top 10 sphere.
Warcraft 2.
That's not in my top 10. Oh, well, I feel like we should eliminate that.
If it's in either top 10s, sure. I mean, it's in my top 4, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
let's take that. But see,
Well,
the
no,
problem
no,
is
if
you
it's in
guys
your
are
top 4,
very
let's-
heavily SNES biased.
well, that's why we've got the
so-
one game to whack in as well. But let's just keep it.
You
It's
say that, and there's 2 PC games on the right already. So
True,
Yeah, okay,
actually.
fair enough. Okay, so World of Warcraft 2 has to go out then if you guys don't have
Well,
it.
it doesn't have to go
World
out,
of
but-
Warcraft 2. What?
Sorry, Warcraft 2. Oh, God.
Earthworm
Hey,
Jim
Mike,
2.
can
Earthworm
you-
Jim
Mike-
2.
Mike, Earthworm Jim 2 is very high for me. So
Okay, Mike.
Mortal Kombat 3? What are we doing with that one?
The Mortal Kombat 3 is way out of the list for me.
It's out of my list too, so
it's not for me, but put it up with Warcraft then. It
Okay.
fits the same sphere. So
and I think Earthworm Jim 2 sounds the same because that's definitely not in my anywhere near my top. It's not even my top 18.
that's travesty, man.
So I'd like to have I Have No Mouth and Now My Scream, but I don't feel like you guys have that.
But do you have that in
Unfortunately-
top? Like, I've never played it. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part for me as well.
But is it high on your list? No,
Yeah,
it's not.
The problem is,
Like, at
I
least
would put
Warcraft 2, you're like, that's 4th, right? That's different.
yeah. So I've got Heroes as well. So if I had to eliminate one right now, it'd have to be that, purely because you guys won't
Well,
have it. I could force it in as my one, but
let me
I think we
make
all
it
know
small.
Beavis and
Let's
Butthead's going to get that one.
make it small. It won't. I'm
Come
not
on,
going to add
dude.
it.
Come
I'm
on,
controlling
right,
this.
Will.
I'm not going to fucking
What do you
do that.
mean? It's an
Nah.
awesome point.
Sorry,
adventure
edit.
game.
I'm going to fucking, unilaterally decide no.
I'm going to suggest something to cut if you want.
Tactics
Just to
Ogre.
kind of just to
I
get.
know
out
what you're
there.
going to say, Swinny. I know what you're
I
going to say.
love this game.
I know what you're gonna say.
I love it so much, but
Dreamland?
Kirby's Dreamland 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it so much, but it's not going to hang with the other games. I know
Cut.
it.
Well, it got a good fair shake. Got a
I
fair
just
shake.
know it. I just know it.
I'm going to say, and this hurts me, second Tetsu 3.
I agree.
I don't love it more than Secret of Evermore. And I think that is a bit of bias because, I didn't play it at the time because it didn't come out over here.
Okay.
All
But
right,
we're getting
we'll
there.
get
We're getting there.
We're
We're getting there. Getting there.
Mike, Heroes of Might and Magic.
It's one of my faves.
Can I add one thing? Okay, so let's be real. There's no way that Donkey Kong Country 2 and Yoshi's Island isn't going to be in a top 10. Are we all
Yeah, there is.
Nah, no way, man.
Well, no, but
Well,
okay. So
for people
it's-
who haven't, yeah,
those games are probably going to be in the top 10 because it's indigo on my top 10. So I'd say that if two people have it in the top 10, then it should probably be on maybe in the middle. Maybe,
Consideration,
let's say the middle,
at least, yeah.
Maybe let's
Let's put it here.
Yeah, I think that
drag it
works.
over,
That works.
Well, look, I acknowledge they're great games,
Hey.
but you guys are
okay,
very heavily SNES biased because that's what you
we
played
are.
during that
We
era.
are.
whereas
Yeah,
I
and that
played
was the
PC
biggest
games,
platform.
We are. I'm not going to
So,
lie.
wow, it's
I think there's a million people who've been inspired by Yoshi's Island and Donkey Kong Country too. I'm not so sure about,
Heroes of Might and Magic. Are you serious?
No, I was going to say this one. What is it called? I have no mouth and I must scream.
Yeah, look, I think that's going to have to go out because there's no way
All right,
it's
it's
going to
out.
pass with you guys. So as much as
Hey,
I want it in.
don't say we're not like we played PC back then as well. There's two PC games that are in the top 10.
So basically, we only need to cut two more.
Yep.
And then we need to figure out the
Oh,
sixth.
is that how we? Yeah, I guess you're right. Actually,
So Tactics Ogre. Let's revisit that one. How much do you really care about that game? Did you play it back in the day so much? And I don't care about it at all. I don't even. Yeah,
you guys are haters, man.
for me, it's like whatever.
It's not hater. I just don't. It's not like we have to cut good games.
Yeah, gonna have to cut them.
Okay,
We cut a few of my faves.
all right, I'll put it down.
Okay.
I cut Kirby.
You pricks. Put it over the big weekend gaming logo.
Okay.
Buy
Sure.
it. Now it's buy weekend game.
So,
hey, we'll get a bigger audience, I reckon.
all right. So Mortal Kombat 3.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't have it in my 18.
Oh,
Look,
I
Swinny.
know that was
That
probably
game was
my
so
favorite.
I will
I
put
know.
these. No, Mortal Kombat 2 is way better
But-
in my view than Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 2, we're having a different conversation for me. But I
Mortal
put.
Kombat 3 was such a huge game at the time.
Yeah.
I got nothing to
Alright.
say about
remember
Heroes
it.
of Might and Magic. I'm not saying it's a bad game, right? But I 100% put fucking now I'm doing what you're thinking. Warcraft 2, Earthworm Jim, and Secret of Evermore ahead of Mortal Kombat 3 for me personally.
Mortal Kombat 3 is really high on my list. Fuck.
Well, okay, let's
It's a
talk about
tough
these
one,
other
man. games
then. Secret of Evermore. What do you think about that, Mikey? Have you ever played that?
No, I haven't.
That game.
Yeah.
Game is not getting cut. Let me just put it that way.
Oh.
All right, let's
look it
cut
up.
Mortal Kombat 3.
right, it's done.
I'm more passionate about Secret of Evermore than I am Mortal Kombat 3.
Right.
Sorry.
It would just even
Sorry,
threaten it
MK3.
and it goes away.
Sorry, Smoke. Sorry, Cyrax. And
It's a great game, but it just, to me, not even as good as the
Right.
predecessor.
so we've got our 10, by the way.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, okay, where we're at, listeners, Heroes of Might and Magic, Earthworm Jim 2, Warcraft 2, Secret of Evermore, Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country 2, Full Throttle, Earthbound, Worms, and Chrono Trigger. Now,
Right,
what we
yes.
need to do is pick 6 nominees. Then they are locked in. They're locked in at that point. Yeah? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then after that process, we have to do 7, 8, 9, 10, and we all have one veto vote to whack a game in if we want to do that. Be an
So I
arsehole.
reckon we have to lock in the ones that got all 3 in our top 10.
Nah, I don't think so.
To me, that's an easy solution.
Yeah, that's an easy
I think
solution,
Chrono
yeah.
Trigger it cannot possibly not be. I think, look, I understand it's not in your top 10, Swinny.
No,
But-
it is in my top 10.
Sorry, on top 6. Let me have this argument. I understand it's not in your top 6, but I think it would be ridiculous if we try to decide the best game of 1995 when we don't have a game. And I'm not saying it's my favorite game, but we don't have a game in there that is considered by a lot of people as their favorite game of all time. Forget about 1995. I just think that would be a ridiculous thing to do. That we have here's our 6 nominees and Chrono Trigger's not even there. It'd be like idiotic.
I think I'd like to also point out that some people think Beavis and Butthead was their favorite game of 1995.
Sweetie, what do you
and
think of
they
what I'm
can't even
saying?
have it.
There's 7 games here that I like more than Chrono Trigger.
But you understand what I'm saying,
Ooh.
Swinny?
Yeah, I understand, but this is like, I'm not going to lie. Chrono Trigger, I appreciate Chrono Trigger. I'm not a huge fan of Chrono Trigger. I would love to replay it, don't get me wrong, and I plan on replaying it as part of this. I understand why it's so beloved. It's just, to me, there's games I love more here.
But still, my argument that how can we consider what the best game of 1995 is when it's not compared to Chrono Trigger at some point.
Mike, what do you think?
I feel like Chrono Trigger is one of the games we have to do.
Okay, then it's one of the games.
All right, so our first nominee is Chrono Trigger.
I am unhappily happy to concede Warcraft 2 if we have to.
Oh, I'm not. As a top 6? Nah, no way.
The problem is there's really hefty competition.
I reckon Worms need to be in our 6.
I'm on board with that. I love Worms. I think Worms is one of the greatest local multiplayer games ever.
A lot of people with the current day style of Worms are probably wondering, thinking we're insane.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck, this Worms Rumble game? What the fuck are these idiots doing?
The original Worms and some of the sequels were so good, and they were just like playing the original Worms on PC was some of my favorite gaming moments. That, like, not just that year, but in that, like, the next few years after, just like naming your own teams and going around your mate's place. And I had my team based on like Arnold Schwarzenegger films, and it was just such a good game. Like, honestly, I could still play Worms to this day and still.
Well, no, you can't, because I bloody bought Worms to play with you, and you still haven't played with me.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I
think I have it as well, actually.
What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? I'm going to search for it.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
We take extensive notes.
Look.
So where we're up to? We've only got 2 games in our top 6 nominees.
So this is really controversial to say, but as much as I love Full Throttle, I don't know if it's going to be a top game in the end. Amazing game, loved it to bits, super fun memories, but I don't know, because this is really tough now. There's too many good games here. There's no replayability. What do you think? So?
I think it's in my 6, but I think it's probably a good placement for it. In the, like, let's say, in the
7, 8, 9,
4
10.
kind of is all right, but I'd be all right with it in the 6. So to me, like,
it's not very definitive what you just said.
No, but I'm just like, to me, it is like a good number 6 game.
But it's borderline, you're saying?
Yeah.
There's so many other good number 6 games is the problem.
Thing is, there's games on here that I absolutely love that you guys just don't love, so it's like...
Oh, no. Yeah, look, probably Earthworm Jim 2 is the only one that I don't love. I think it's a great game, but
I don't love it. I think it's great too, but
I love Secret of Evermore. I do love that game.
Yeah. All right, then.
This is tough business.
How about we chuck in Yoshi's Island? Come on, it's got to be in there.
Oh,
it's got to be like that's. It's got to be in the 6. I'm telling you now, it is in the 6.
Well, I think that as well.
There's no way we leave without that in the 6.
Partially, the whole reason why I picked 95 is to compare Chrono Trigger, Yoshi's Island, and Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah, it's Indigo. Is it in? 100%
well, for me it is, but then I don't want to also just feel like, this actually happened to me last time with you 2 idiots, where I was on the outer and then I had no fucking way to.
There's no idiots
Portal
here.
2. Portal 2 is not top 6 game.
There's no idiots here.
Anyone who disagrees with me is an idiot.
We do not insult each other into God.
Wait, how long have you known me? 30 years? I think that's my MO.
Yoshi's Island is 100% a top 6 for me.
Yeah, it has to be Mike. Sorry. It has to be Mike. Dude, top 6, much higher than 6.
I can't argue with you guys. I mean, it's not. I have no affinity for it, but I get it. You guys have fond memories of it.
I'll say this, Mike. We have to put Donkey Kong Country 2 in, but let's. We
have to. Why do we have to?
We have to.
Sell it to me.
Well, number one, we have always, since the start of the podcast, debated: is Yoshi's Island better than Donkey Kong Country 2? They're pretty different games. Actually, Yoshi's Island kind of is, it's almost like came about because of what Rare was doing with Donkey Kong Country 1 as well with the graphics. And just to me, they're just peak platforming. Like, they're probably the 2 of my favorite platformers. Maybe not necessarily the best ever, but definitely my favorite platformers of all time. And I just think, again, it's that whole thing of like, if we take a step back, it's like, are we not going to compare these games? It just seems insane to me. But what I'm saying is, as a bargain, I reckon we pull one of your PC games through to the top 6.
Oh, really?
What do you think? What do you think, Swinny?
Well, I definitely don't have reverence for Warcraft or Heroes Might Magic, but I'm not the only vote here. I understand how important Warcraft 2 was, don't get me wrong. I just don't have a love for the game.
I feel like between them, purely because you also wanted to include Warcraft into GOT.
Yeah, I'd be happy
to be Warcraft instead of Heroes. Even though personally, I think I probably enjoyed Heroes more. But
I'd probably say Full Throttle out of the 3 PC games. So let's drag the PC games. So these are the PC games.
Yeah,
and then here's the Super Nintendo games.
Hey, Full Throttle's the only PC game. Oh, sorry, other than Worms, the only other PC game I have in my 10.
Yeah, I had Full Throttle was like 6, I think.
I
really like Warcraft 2
with the desert area with the road.
Well, I'm kind of like saying, I think I feel like we have to include Diddy's Conquest. Then we've only got 2 more spots left. I feel like
but then
one of the PC games should slot in.
Swinny's not going to let go of Secret of Evermore.
No, wait. Let's discuss. So I to me, it makes sense to have Full Throttle, right?
Okay. So what do you think, Mike? I think you're more the casting vote on this.
I feel like it makes sense to have it because
Full Throttle or
it was a
Warcraft
year
2?
of it was Full Throttle. So it was a year of quite a few adventure games, and that one definitely stood out. So
that's representing all the
corpses
of all the other adventure games.
Of the other adventure games.
The scum games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there were a lot of good ones like Beavis and Butthead. And
then do we bring through Donkey Kong Country 2?
100% has to be for me.
Okay. I like, dude, it's
doesn't for me.
It could be my number 1 game in that year. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, I know this is like 2 against 1 territory, but it genuinely is one of my favorite games of all time.
That's fair enough. Okay, this is a tough one. So
now we've got 1 left.
So I know Earthworm Jim 2 is not going to get in, right? So let's not even bother discuing that. It's not going to get in.
I'll put it down here for now.
No. Wait. It's still in the top 10. So Earthworm Jim 2 is to me like I love Earthworm Jim 1, but there was a lot of weird design choices and a lot of really rough levels in it. Earthworm Jim 2 was, when I played that game for the first time and beat it, I was just like, this game is freaking awesome. I know it's not beloved, but I'm really happy that it's at least in our top 10. So
for now.
Yeah. But you can always pull it in as your special.
Let's do it a different way, Swinny. Let's put the cards on the table. Let's say each person pitch what they think the 6th game should be. You know why? You know what? I was thinking, man, we're running so good on time in this podcast. I like them to be about 2 hours. And then this fucked us up, man.
I knew this wasn't going to be short, man.
Oh, it's really hard, man. It's really hard. So do you want to do this? So Swinny, you go first, then maybe Mike, and then I'll go last.
All right. I'm going to pitch Secret of Evermore is the 6th game. Secret of Evermore is one of my favorite games of all time. It is one of my favorite action RPGs of all time as well. That no secret, like that game is very high on my list. It has some of the coolest atmospheric like music, has an awesome alchemy system to it. It's the kind of game that I remember so much about. It's like burnt into my brain. I beat that game probably about 10 times back in the day. I love Secret of Evermore so much. It is like one of the games I'm most passionate about in this entire list.
Mike?
So you're pitching yours now, Mike, not responding to
that. I love it. We just always have to coach.
Mike, it's an audio, podcast.
It's just a tough one. It's just a tough one.
Indigo, are you ready to go then, Indigo?
Oh. No,
he's going to go Beavis and Butthead.
No. I'm going to, well, I will do that, but I am willing to let Warcraft and Heroes go.
No, but this is what you think your 6th game should be. The 6th game. You pitch it.
You go first. I'm really
Okay.
this is a tough one because on one hand, I think I'd enjoy playing something like Secret of Evermore. On the other hand, a game like Warcraft was huge, massive impact in that genre. So, and Heroes, I spent many an hours in Heroes, so it's a tough one.
So I'm going to say the sixth game should be Earthbound.
Oh,
So my
boy.
whole dream was that it's going to be Chrono Trigger versus Earthbound, Yoshi's Island versus Donkey Kong Country 2, and then also the winners out of those games. It's like, is Donkey Kong Country 2, for instance, better than Earthbound or better than Chrono Trigger or better than Yoshi's Island, depending on how the cards fall with that. And then is it another game, a Full Throttle or Worms, get to sort of pip us to the post? I think from like an Earthbound perspective, just the impact that game has had, the follow on, in so many games that are coming out even recently. I just think, all round, to me, that looks right. It looks right to be in the top 6 for me.
Okay.
Mikey?
That's right.
Me?
Mike
What were
hadn't
you gonna
pitched
say?
his yet. No, I didn't realize you hadn't pitched yours yet.
Quick.
So I will unpitch Heroes just to make it easy for us because we got to decide.
Wait, no, pitch the game you want as number 6, man.
Just pick a fucking game.
Okay,
We're giving Mike the vote.
2.
Warcraft 2. Okay, why?
Yeah. Because it's a definitive game in the real-time strategy genre. And other than the fact that I have many
You're
fun
really
memories of playing
stretching
it,
the length of this show out.
I know. With
it's a
zero
tough
insight.
one.
With
It's a
zero
tough one.
insights.
You know what? Earthbound, because I've always wanted to play it.
Oh, wow.
Earthbound's it.
I
always
gotta
wanted to
say,
play
Sweeney,
Earthbound,
sorry.
never have.
Earthbound,
Now's
I
a
think
good
it's in the top
opportunity.
6.
He said it.
I think it's in the top 6.
Um,
All right, we have to move on. So these
So,
are our
But
top
what
6
happens
nominees.
now? Right. So each one of us can now put in a game.
Now, so this is the 7 to 10 so far, right? So these
Okay.
are our 7 to 10.
But
Now-
can I swap something out?
Well, so you have the ability to whack
Yeah.
something in, but
Okay.
then we have to remove something. So this is going to be
Okay.
a painful
Well,
process.
can I just remove something and put something in instead to
No,
make
you
it
can't remove it. You can only
quicker?
say it's going in.
Okay, Beavis and Butthead's going in.
No, it's not. It's not going in.
dude, really?
It's a good
Nah,
game.
Nah, sorry. So no way.
No, I'm picking it.
Nah,
That's my choice. You don't get to dictate.
nah.
Dictator.
Not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
but- Put it in.
Mike, no, jokes aside, is
I'm
it
not even kidding.
literally...
Yes. I played it. I loved it. I'm putting it in.
It actually does have good reviews. Sweeney.
It's a good game. It's a really cool game. So
I feel extremely uncomfortable with this.
Ah.
I don't know, Mike. Did it really review well?
I don't care if it reviewed well. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but this is like we're gonna bump out a game like Warcraft 2 or Secret of Evermore or Earthworm Jim or Heroes of Might and Magic to make way for Beavis and Butthead.
It happens.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke to me. What's your view, Sweeney?
If Mike is not joking, then I respect his wishes.
Look, I'm not joking, but if it's going to mean bumping out something like Warcraft,
Of course, that's what it means. Of
It's
course,
not
that's what
as
it
good of a
means.
game as Warcraft, so therefore, no, I'm not gonna. But I still want to make you guys play it. somehow.
Is this like a legit thing or what?
It's a legit thing. It's a really cool game. Yeah.
I'm sure it's actually probably a good game. I can't judge it. I've never played it, but it just seems like a ridiculous idea over these other games.
And by the way, all these other games were eliminated. That we're saying Beavis.
Oh no, I didn't want that one eliminated. You eliminated Beavis and Butthead.
No,
I
but
would've
are
kept that
you
in.
seriously saying it's better than like Mech Warrior 2, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 3?
Yes. To me, it was. Yeah, to me, it was. It's way more memorable.
So it's a point and click. So it's better than the Dig.
Well, it's a point and click with more elements added to it. Like I remember, there's a part where you can spit at people from the roof, and you gotta like aim and
to God's face right now.
spit at people and stuff.
I'm always going. I want the community's involvement. Should we give Mike like half votes for these things? Don't give him that much power. So wait, what are we doing? Come on, the show's like getting insanely long now.
Okay. How about this? It's not out, but all of us get one game that we'd like the other person to experience.
No, we're not
Come
playing that
on.
game.
Not to
I already
actually
said
include as part
we
of the
have to
voting.
play the top 6.
No, as a
We
side
don't have
thing,
to play
as a
7
side
to
thing.
10.
No, as a side thing. As a this is a
Move
game
move on.
I really wanted, but you guys eliminated it. But I'd really like you guys to play it. You know what I mean? We all have one of those games. I know we do.
Well,
I'll
this
play
game-
a tactics game, for example. I'll play it. I'll play it just to see what it's like.
All right, Mike, come on. We've got to move on. This is getting
All
ridiculous.
right. I'm happy. Honestly, I'm happy with this list and the honorable mentions.
Yeah, you could probably leave it as is, actually.
Yeah, I was going to be... This is why I kept Tactics Ogre over here. I was going to force it in. But I think that would be like like even for me, it's too much of an arsehole move because then we have to remove one of these games.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like Earthworm Jim should be there.
I think the whole veto thing worked when we did the
yeah.
shortlist last time. I don't think it works because we went through the process in detail this time, if you know what I mean. So I think that's really good. And when we go to do it, I'm assuming we'll obviously come up for the top 6 ranking. I'd like to rank those honorable mentions as well, so we end up having a top 10.
Yeah, no,
at the end of it
100%.
all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with this.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that.
I would have loved Secret of Evermore. It's literally second on my list. But I understand that we went through a process to get those 6.
But hang on, it is quite possible that you and I play Secret of Evermore again, and I go, "Oh my god, it's the most amazing game of 1995."
That'll be 7th.
Really?
Yeah, we're locking this
100%. 100%.
Now,
So the rules are we have to play the top 6, have to all play the top 6, and then 7 to 10, it's up to you if you want to play it or not. Like, better if we all play it, but no force. And we'll rank it. So these are all ranked, the top 6 from 1 to 6, and then we're ranking 7 to 10, 7 to 10.
And for anyone that obviously, like, there's a lot of people that love the games that got cut. You know, we cut Tekken, we cut bloody Mortal Kombat 3. We cut some really beloved games. And unfortunately, there's just what happens when you have to choose the top games of the year. You're going to have to cut stuff.
Swinny and I apologize profusely. Intercut doesn't give a shit because he's an asshole.
Well, but it's our list, and this is not my top 6 nominees.
He's not denying it.
Well, you've got to be true to oneself. But you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't necessarily have all these games in my top 6, and I'm sure we're all the same with that. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, I had a different top 6.
Did we want to quickly say how many people, like, out of the 10 games that they had listed personally, how many games didn't make it? So out of my,
I think we're already going pretty long. So
no, I just want to say, out of my top 10, only 2 games didn't make it. So I'm really happy with this list overall.
Well, Tactics Ogre was in my top 5.
Oh wow, okay.
So
yeah, that's weird. That's weird to me.
Tekken,
you do you.
Tekken was up there as well. And that was kind of acknowledging that it's not the best, but I think it's also just the impact that game had. Like, it is the definitive 3D fighter. And this was the first game, and it took the arcades by storm, and, it was huge on the PlayStation. So, that was in my top 10 for sure.
Cool.
I think it goes without saying that Beavis and Butthead was legit in my top 6. But,
I always tempted to play this game to see if it's actually good, I'm going to go, shit. Okay. if it's trash, I will never respect your opinion again.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we got it. We got that.
Cool. So this is what it is. So just to recap, our top 6 in no particular order for nominees for Game of Some Other Year, which we will determine at the end of the year, is Chrono Trigger, Worms, Yoshi's Island, Full Throttle, Donkey Kong Country 2, and Earthbound. Honorable mentions 7 to 10, Warcraft 2, Heroes of Might and Magic, Earthworm Jim 2, and Secret of Evermore.
Cool.
All right, well, let's round out the show. Next week, we will be reviewing, retrospecting, thinking about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So, Mike, I don't know if you've already bought it. You need to break your rule and buy it if you haven't.
Well, I didn't review the previous DKs like you guys did.
Okay, so Mike will continue being lazy.
This one.
And as always, rate, review, support us, follow us, ring that bell, do all that good stuff. With that, bye-bye.
See ya.
Adios.